This episode of Champ and the Tramp is brought to you by Corona Seltzer. We just got their brand new variety pack, tropical flavors. My man, Mr. Effie over there, is sipping on one himself.
Yeah, man, I cracked pineapple pina. It's delicious, perfect for summer. Go get yours today at any liquor store in your neighborhood.
Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. Whenever tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the Champ and the Tramp, let the bomb blast.
I didn't know it was that far.
Yeah, shit. I was like, that's the Jersey Shore.
I don't know.
Frankie knows so many people, but to get him to actually fucking invite
But I've been wanting to ask you for a while.
I'm like, bro, get Chuck. I know you know Chuck. Get him on the show.
Yeah. Joe has a good podcast.
Rogan?
Yeah.
Amazing podcast. He's like the best.
Phenomenal.
He's like
And
the
he moved to
staple.
Texas or something, right?
Yeah, he did. He's in Austin now.
Yep.
So here, I guess we started. We got a legend on the couch, Chuck Zito, actor, former president of Hell's Angels, lifelong martial artist, boxer. Your father was a championship boxer.
Been in over 50 movies.
Yeah. Bro, you were in Carlitos, man. I just
movies.
seen you were in Carlitos,
Excuse me,
man.
150 movies.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I did
And
76 as an
TV.
actor and 74 as a stunt guy.
I tried to count. I was probably off, but movies.
No,
but you counting TV shows too?
What I did was I started as a stuntman in the movie
Yeah.
Okay.
first.
Oh, this guy was in Oz. This guy's
Yes.
been in
Greatest,
some big shit.
greatest show on HBO.
It really was. That was before. Was that before Sopranos?
Before anybody. We were
Yeah.
before Sex and the City.
Wow.
Before 6 Feet Under. Before Sopranos. We were the first. We set the ground rules for everybody else.
Yeah, you're right.
And I used to tell everybody in Sopranos, you ever come to Oz, we'd spank you guys.
Your character on there was great too. You know, the Italian guy, of course, had the rep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know what everybody used to say, because I never covered my tattoo, my Hell's Angel tattoo.
Yeah.
And they said, this guy should be in the bikers, not the head of the Sicilians. So, but we have fun. I was on it. I started the second season, and I did 5 seasons, so it lasted, to the 6th season.
Right.
And you know what? We could have did another 10.
For sure.
Because we're on a bus.
For sure.
We don't know where we're going.
Yeah, right.
Because they had the anthrax there, all that that disease thing or whatever they had.
Right.
We're on a bus. Some guys died, of course, and we're all traveling on a bus.
Yeah.
We could always bring it back.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
And say,
and there's endless possibilities.
Absolutely.
You could always add a new character anytime you want.
Absolutely. Because we could say, hey, the bus got hijacked. We had a crash, like The Fugitive. Half guys die, half guys escape.
That would be great to come back.
Yeah.
If that came
I keep
back.
telling
or
Tom
even
Fontana.
as a movie, even.
I can tell Tom Fontana. And he goes, well, if you could talk HBO into doing it, I'll do it. I said, I could talk. I said, you're the one that had the rapport with them. Not that I had a good rapport with them also, but
who is
we could bring it back.
Who was the Nazi? J.K.
Yeah. Schillinger.
He's amazing.
Schillinger,
he's
yeah.
Amazing actor.
But
man.
you know what? They all went out and did so much, and they're all big things. He's right.
Right.
Chris Maloney is, Law and Order, and so was Dean Winters. J.K. won the Academy Award for Whiplash.
Whiplash. That's one of my favorite movies. That's amazing.
He's great. They all turned out to be great actors.
Yeah.
Great actors.
What was your very first entry into actually being behind the scenes and doing a movie?
The Hell's Angels actually opened the doors for Hollywood for me. Okay. When I became a Hell's Angel, the president of New York City, Sandy Alexander, was a stuntman in the movie business and a stunt coordinator.
Okay.
And they were doing a movie back in 1979, 1980 called Dead Ringer with Sharon Meatloaf. And he needed 18 guys on motorcycles, so he used all the Hell's Angels. So I caught the stunt bug, and I wound up getting my SAG card, and that was it.
Was that before you were doing security for like big name celeb? I mean, you.
This started in
Liza Minnelli
1979.
was one of your first. Right?
How'd you end up in the Hell's Angels? How'd that go? Just your love of motorcycles?
Yeah. Actually, they inspired me when I was 12 years old. actually 14 years old. It was 1967, and I went to go see Hell's Angels on Wheels with Jack Nicholson and Sonny Barger. And that inspired me to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So I went home and I made a mini bike. I found a Schwinn Stingray sitting somewhere. I found a lawnmower, and I made a mini bike.
Yourself.
Yes.
Wow, you're always good at the
Yeah.
mechanics and
Yes.
everything? Wow, that's
So I've been
amazing.
building mini bikes when I was 12, 13, 14 years old.
Wow.
I took my mother's vacuum cleaner up sweeps. I made upsweep exhaust system.
Pipes? No
Yeah,
shit.
because back in the day they had metal. They
Yeah.
weren't plastic.
Yeah, right.
They had metal handles and all, and they were
Yeah.
the extensions,
Sure.
and they were both
Like a 45
yeah.
angle?
So you
Tell
had
me-
the handle.
Tell me you have a picture of that thing
I
somewhere.
took. Yeah, I wish.
No,
Back in the day,
fuck,
I was
yeah.
14 years
That's
old.
black
Where-
and white, man.
Where am I going to get? And I use it for my upsweeps.
That's
And my mother was looking for the pipes one day, and they're on my bike. Then I went to a Jack's Army Navy store up on Main Street in New Rochelle, paid $6 for a dungaree jacket, and I hand painted on the back of the jacket the opposite of Hell's Angels, Heaven's Devils.
That's awesome, man.
And I put my new patch on, got on my mini bike, and started riding around town. And that's how I
At
started.
14.
At 14.
That's fucking
That is
amazing.
very
At 14.
Amazing.
And
Heaven's Devils, bro. That's
It-
great.
actually, the magazine I just gave you, the Outlaw Biker,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not even on a newsstand
Pick
yet.
that
That's
up,
hot
pick
off
it
the
up.
press.
Yeah.
It shows the whole history in there of and what I'm telling you right now. And then what happened was I started a motorcycle club when I got my first built my first Harley Davidson. I was 16, 17 years old. Built a Sportster, 1,000cc Sportster with a friend of mine. As I was riding my mini bike, I passed this driveway and saw this big chopper.
Yeah.
My first chopper I ever saw,
Fell in love.
with the big upsweeps like I just showed you mine. And I'm looking at the bike, and I'm on my mini bike, and all of a sudden, this guy comes out. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing on a bike? By the bike?" And I looked up, and this big guy, and he was like 6'4", and he had a jacket on with all the medals. I saw, shit, there's a Hell's Angel living in my neighborhood. And it turned out to be a guy named Tall Paul Westermeyer, and he was a member of the Bronx Aliens,
Oh, wow.
which was a big club back in the day. And he saw me with my mini bike and everything. He goes, "You want to ride?" I said, yeah. So he gave me a ride around the block
Oh, that's
on the
no
bike.
And that was it. That was it after
And
that.
66 years later, we're still friends.
Get out.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's still here?
He's still around.
Wow.
Yeah.
man.
He was older than I. He was like 18. I was 14.
Oh,
Now, he was
young
about
guy.
19. He was about 19.
Okay.
When I first met him, and we're still friends to this day.
That's
So
very
he
cool.
taught me how to. I was watching him paint motorcycles, build bikes, and I learned from him.
That's awesome, man.
And I started making my own. And I was 16 when I first
Yeah.
built my first motorcycle,
Yeah.
real motorcycle. And
You
then
don't
of course
see
I
a
got
lot of
the
those
cars.
old school choppers anymore. I
Nah,
mean, Indian
no.
Larry, I guess, did a bunch, right? And then he passed.
Yeah. But-
He passed on a bike, right? He was like doing
Yeah,
some crazy,
yeah.
he
He
was
was
doing like
standing there on
yeah.
top of a motorcycle.
do it dead air, Christ. Every
Yeah,
year,
standing there.
every year though, they have a
They have Lenny and Larry,
yeah, they have an
Memorial,
Indian Larry
yeah,
Memorial.
in Brooklyn, yeah.
Tons of people show up. Yeah.
But that's what happened. And then, of course, I started my own motorcycle club with Tall Paul. Not started, we just got a clubhouse to hang around. Myself, him, and a guy named Tony Lamboy. We wound up, myself and Tony, wound up joining a club in the Bronx called the Chingling Nomads, which was an outlaw motorcycle club. So while I was in that club, it started in the Bronx. When I got my patch, I went back to New Rochelle and started my own
Right.
thing. So I got all Italians and Irish and
You've always
And
been
Jews.
loyal to New Rochelle, huh?
Yeah,
you never
yeah,
left.
yeah,
Still
yeah.
there to this day.
well,
right?
I was born in the Bronx, moved to Brooklyn,
Yeah,
and then when I was 12 years old, my mom got divorced and she moved to New Rochelle.
yeah. You're still
when-
there now, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So started with that, and then what happened was I'm shooting pool down in the Bronx, those old alleys, and somebody says, "Hey, Hell's Angels just pulled up." I said, "Oh, yeah, let's go see what this guy looks like." So I'm walking up this little alley, which was like 4 feet wide, and as I made the turn, I bumped right into the guy. He's turning around to come to us, and he was like 6'6", 6'4", 400 pounds. And the guy's name was Big Vinny Girolamo. And he just goes on, man, this is his voice. Hey, how you doing, man? Big Vinny Girolamo, Hells Angels, New York City. I'm looking up and I'm sizing myself. The first thing I said, fuck, do they all look like him? And we became friends. And then we had a party down there. All the Hells Angels came down to our block in the Bronx.
Right.
And then we went to all there because they used to have a hellified 4th of July party. They closed the whole street down, bands, everybody, And I started hanging out with them, and I quit the Chinglers, and I became a Hells Angel.
Oh, that's awesome.
So when I became a Hells Angel, Sandy Alexander was a stunt man, and I got into the stunt business because of him. And I always said that the Hells Angels and Sandy Alexander opened the doors in Hollywood for me.
That's awesome.
Then in 1980, I started my own bodyguard business.
Yeah.
I was at a bike show in the New York Coliseum, and Robert Conrad was there. Because they used to have everybody from TV shows be the guest star there.
Right.
And there was a big crowd around him, and his bodyguard asked me, I had my Hells Angel patch on, I had my jacket, and people were, just basically stood away from us. He goes, hey, could you help me get Robert in the back? I said, absolutely. So I walked in the front, and they parted like the Red Sea.
Yeah.
So we got in the back. We got in his dressing room there, and I said, hey, you make money doing this? He goes, absolutely. It's lucrative. I said, all right. I said, well, how'd you start? He goes, you know what? Make up a catchy name, make up business cards, and start giving them out, and before you know it, you'll do it. So I said, my name was Chuck Charlie Charles. Of course, I called it Charlie's Angels Bodyguard Service.
Perfect.
And then I remember the first Duran-Leonard fight. I went to the Academy of Music on 14th Street with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. We're sitting watching a fight,
Wow.
which, of course, Duran won that night.
Yeah.
Then at the end, they says, hey, we're going to go to a bar uptown. You want to come? I said, you know what? I don't drink, I don't smoke. I really don't go to places that I don't really know. Well, this isn't really just a bar. A lot of ballerinas are there and models and all. I said, you know what? You talked me into it. Let's go. So we walk into this place, and as soon as I walked in, I don't care what night it was, you could see 10 celebrities there. I walked in there. Liza Minnelli was there. Treat Williams, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino. Bruce Willis was the bartender.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Wow.
He was a bartender. So I walk in there with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, and I have my Hells Angel jacket on. So they're going around and saying, wow, let me walk around here, check some of these girls out and all, right? Next thing I know, this guy comes over. He goes, hey, how you doing? My name's Paul Herman. I'm the manager. I said, how you doing? I'm Chuck Zito. He goes, well, you're scaring the customers. My boss asked me to tell you to take your jacket off. I said, I don't take my patch off for anybody. So he goes, well, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I said, I came with 2 friends. When they leave, I'll leave. And besides, you don't get paid enough to tell me something like that. Because he was going to go straight to the hospital that night, right? So then I said, you tell your boss to come see me. Next thing you know, a couple minutes later, this little guy comes up. He goes, hey, I'm Peter Herrera. This is my place. I own it. What's the problem? I said, well, your guy told me. You told him to tell him, take my patch off. He goes, yeah. He goes, you're scaring my customers. I said, well, I don't take my patch off for nobody. He goes, well, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I said, well, I'm not leaving until my friends leave. And I said, there was an empty booth there. I said, sit down. Let's talk. So we sat down. I started talking to him. I said, hey, first of all, to let you know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I never took a drug in my life. And then he eased up a bit, And we probably sat there and talked for like an hour. After that, he goes, you know what? You're welcome here anytime you want with your patch on.
Yeah.
I said, thank you. He started taking me around.
Classic judging a book by its cover.
He introduced me to Liza Minnelli. I gave her one of my cards, my Charlie's Angels card, and I gave it to her. And you know what? A week later, she called me and says my sister is getting death threats. Her half-sister, Lorna Luft, is getting death threats. She was on a play called Snoopy in Broadway. I'd like you to, watch her. I said, okay, great. She goes, well, how much? I said, you know what? The first night will be gratis. See if we get along with each other.
Right.
She might not like me.
Yeah.
And, who knows? And next thing you know, I started working for her. Then Liza called me, and once I worked for Liza because she was doing a play called The Rink at the Martin Beck Theater. with her and Cheetah Rivera. And once I was bodyguarding her, everybody used to come backstage and see her. Like I said, De Niro and Pacino and Michael Jackson, Elizabeth Taylor. I started working for them. And just they saw me with Liza. And the next thing,
Wow, that's cool.
Took off.
I was known as the bodyguard to the stars in the 80s.
That's amazing.
Yes. And I remember Elizabeth Taylor came up. She goes, I'd like to see Liza. I said, well, let me see if she's dressed. Can you wait out here? I went inside. I says, Liza. I says, Elizabeth Taylor's outside. You made her wait outside? I says, yeah. She goes, I love you. And that's what happened.
That's
you know?
great.
That's amazing.
So I started working for all these people. I became known as the bodyguard to the stars. Next thing you know, I was working for Sylvester Stallone and Sean Penn and Charlie Sheen. Charles Bronson was one of my clients.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
man.
he was awesome, man.
Yeah,
He was the original
He's
tough
a real
guy.
man. He's
Yeah.
a real man.
He really
Oh, yeah.
was. He really
So I had to go
was.
pick him up. We were doing a movie in Omaha, Nebraska, and Sean Penn was directing it.
Oh, wow.
And he had Charles Bronson there. In fact, he had Patrice Arquette, David Morse, Viggo Mortensen,
Oh, wow.
and he goes, every one of these stars, no, they weren't stars. Nobody even knew who they were. It was like their first movie. He goes, they're all going to be big stars someday. And he was right. They all
Yeah,
became
shit.
superstars.
It's crazy.
And Charles Bronson, and when I walked up to him, back then you were allowed to walk up to the gate as they came off the plane. So he
Yeah,
came
yeah,
off. He
right,
had a bag over his shoulder and had that tough guy swagger with that built. He was that natural built
Yeah.
because he used to be, worked the coal mines in Pennsylvania.
Right. Yeah, he was
So
pretty,
so
he was
many
kinda
movies
jacked.
back then with like, new up and coming actors turned into like the whole cast turned
Oh.
into like Stand By Me, Breakfast Club. Like there was so many movies. Like the whole cast just turned
Absolutely,
into superstars.
absolutely. Look at The Outsiders. All the people
Outsiders, yeah.
What's
Tom
the, what's
Cruise,
the
this
Bronson
one.
movie though that his family his wife gets raped or his daughter gets raped, then he comes back? What's that?
Death
one?
Wish.
Death Wish.
Wish.
Yeah,
Death
yeah,
Wish.
yeah.
Death Wish.
That's great.
So,
Yeah, he was
and if you
badass.
remember the one where he played when he was the street fighter in the cage,
Yeah.
that Hard Times.
Hard
Hard
Times,
Times.
Yes.
I was supposed to do a movie. It was called Harder Times like 5 years ago. They wanted me to play the Bronson character.
Oh, really?
But, of course, the money fell through and they never did it. It was called Harder Times.
Oh, that'd be
And I was going to be the Charles Bronson character.
What
That'd
what
be cool.
little personal story here? What put you on the radar for me? First time I probably heard your name. I
Here
don't
we
know-
go.
I don't know what the Jean-Claude
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Damme. Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
I was such a, I was
waiting,
such
I
a
was
fan.
waiting.
I was such a fan of that dude, and I thought that dude because as a kid you're gullible. You think what you see in the movies is real life. Of course it isn't. But I thought that dude was
Wow.
the baddest man on the planet. And then one day they're like, this guy Chuck Zito kicked his
Yeah,
ass, and I was
dude,
like,
hell yeah.
what?
I love
Who the
it,
fuck
love
is
it.
Chuck Zito? And that was what put you on my
Yes.
radar. So.
That's actually how I did Howard for the first time.
Yes, and I watched that because obviously I wanted to know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was there with Mickey Rourke, another fucking
Mickey
badass.
Rourke, yeah.
Oh,
Mickey
yeah,
Rourke
yeah.
and 5 Guys.
I can't believe that, man.
I was
Yeah.
actually I was his bodyguard back in 92. We went our separate ways, and I didn't see him till 6 years later, till 1998 when he walked in.
Yeah.
Scores. And I was having dinner there. They had great steaks there. They had a great
yeah.
steakhouse there called Roberts and all that stuff. So I was having a steak, and the bouncer came up to me, and he goes, Mickey asked me to tell you to come up, in the Champagne Lounge where they're out. He's up there with Jean-Claude and all. I said, when I finish my dinner, I'll come up there. So I finished my dinner. I went up there. I saw Mickey. He gave me the big hug and a kiss and everything. And I saw Jean-Claude. And we went our separate ways back in 92. So I was just standing there. And I said, hey, Jean-Claude, how you doing? So right away he said, hey, Chuck Zito, how you doing? And I said to myself, wait a minute. I know my last name. Why you got to, So I just ignored him. And one thing led to another. And we had a scuffle. So it was funny because Mickey jumped on my back. He goes, Chuck, it's Mickey. I threw him as far as that desk over there.
So Mickey Rourke, when I was a kid, was in I'm pretty sure it was Mickey Rourke, was in a TV show called Airwolf, right? When I was a kid.
Mickey Rourke? No.
Wasn't that Mickey Rourke?
No, that Airwolf
No,
was
you're right. John Michael Vincent. I'm sorry. You're right.
Jan
You're
Michael
right.
Vincent.
Yes, they
Jan
do look
Michael
similar,
Vincent,
but
yeah.
Well, he was in Harley Davidson and the Marvel Man.
Mickey was.
Another
I have
amazing
that
movie.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
You do?
Till this day.
Oh, wow.
I'll never forget that scene where he pulled that wheelie up next to. They were trying to impress the chick.
38 years later, I still have it.
Sick movie. Yeah. I don't know how I got Airwolf in there, but I was.
Airwolf, that was Jan Michael Vincent.
Yes, you're right.
In fact, I did a movie with Jan Michael Vincent. He was a bad drinker.
Get out. Yes, he had a bad drinking problem.
It was Chad McQueen, Jan Michael Vincent, and he got in a car accident, and his whole face was full of stitches. Right? And they had to write that into the script. How he, it was it was crazy.
Is he still alive?
No, he died. He died.
Crazy.
He was a good-looking guy. Yeah. If you remember him and Charles Bronson, a mechanic.
Yes, that's right.
Right, he was in a mechanic that launched his career.
I forgot about that. That's right.
He was a good-looking guy that should have, but some of these actors, they turn to drugs, they turn to drinking, and. You know what? With all those mazes, I wish I had that opportunity that they had to make that kind of money.
Now, why is it that you've never drank, never done a drug? What I mean, is there a personal reason behind that, or just?
Well, I was boxing since I was 5 years old. Yeah. I had my first ring fight at 12 years old, so I never got into the bad habits.
Right.
Yeah, I never drank. I never smoked. I never did any of that.
Yeah. That's good.
So
Frankie's at the top of his career, and he's into all those things.
But basically, like I said, the Hells Angels started me in Hollywood, and I always, thank them. But I always reciprocated because any show that I was either the star on or I was a stunt coordinator on, I put Hells Angels in it.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest shows was a Bronx Tale.
Sure.
If you remember that ballroom scene, they were all Hells Angels.
Yes.
Well, 5 of them was, and one of my friend, Sonny Hurst, he was in that, and he was out for justice. He was the biker and out for justice when he said, "You knocked my fucking teeth out." Yeah. So they were real Hells Angels.
Okay.
Because De Niro wanted real guys. And we were friends, and he got a hold of me. He goes, "Look, can you get the Hells Angels for me?"
That's one of the best scenes in a movie.
In a movie,
in
made it,
movie.
and with the greatest.
Nayus can't leave.
With the greatest quote, like you said, Nayus can't leave.
Nayus can't leave. It's the best.
So here's a question for you, because as people that have never been, there's only a small group of people that are in biker gangs like the Hells Angels. How do you get out?
Club, not gang.
Club.
Street gangs are street,
club. How do you get out? You did 25 years.
I did 25 years.
How do you get out? Because you always hear, you can't get out.
Well, I guess I'm out. Yeah.
And
it was just time. I've been through a lot in 25 years.
Say, I'm done, walk away.
6 years of prison. I did a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it was time to quit. And I just figured I did a lot.
Yep.
And I quit the club. But the crazy thing about it, when guys quit the club, they stay away.
Yeah.
I'm at the club 18 years, and I've been around the club the whole 18 years.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm leaving tomorrow for Rome, Italy, because the Hells Angels are putting on a big car and bike show, and I'm the celebrity guest star there.
No shit.
So they're paying my way out there, and they got a hotel, everything for me, and
that's
I says,
awesome,
it's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it.
You represent them in a good light, so why not,
absolutely, absolutely. I've done a lot of things.
You never talk like you have anything bad to say about them.
No. There's never a bad thing to say about them. It's I was one for 25 years.
Yeah.
But I've been friends with them for the last 18, and here I'm going to Italy tomorrow. My first time in Europe.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We appreciate you coming on the show, man. Because yesterday you were in Florida, right?
Yesterday I was in Florida.
Tomorrow you're going to Rome.
The crazy thing about it, this last 2 days was like 2 days of hell, man. I let my passport run out like 2 years ago. Yeah, I haven't used it in a long time. I think I went to Mexico once. I did a movie, and I used it for that. I never went overseas. I can't say that. I went to Brazil, and I went to Japan.
Oh, okay.
So I was in Japan.
Yeah.
And I let it run out. And then they called me and said, "Look, we want you to come out there." I said, "Wow, I don't have my passport." This was a month ago.
Yep.
I put in for a passport, and because of this whole COVID, it's so slow. Yeah. It usually takes like 2 weeks. And a month ago, I saw, man, I got to go out. And what happened was I got a Florida license, and I put my passport through that because I went to Florida, and the PSA guy, tells me, your license expires tomorrow. Everything's expiring, expiring. So I had to get a Florida license while I was there so I could fly home.
No shit.
Yes.
Wow.
So I have a Florida license, so I put that in on my passport.
Yeah, COVID messed up so much shit, man.
you cannot get a ticket unless you have a passport. You cannot get a flight unless you show them your passport. You cannot
Even domestically?
Really? get the passport unless you have a flight.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I called Russell Peters, who did me a big favor. He called a friend of his at the customs agent, who called the congressman in Florida for an emergency passport. I had to fly Sunday night.
DeSantis.
Right? DeSantis. I had to fly Sunday night and go to a hotel. 6 a.m. I had to go to the passport place, wait online till 7 till they opened up, and was there from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. where they handed me a passport.
That's
I got it. I text Italy, showed them, gave them a picture of the passport. They got my ticket yesterday for me leaving tomorrow.
That's crazy, man.
So I had a 3-hour layover at Kennedy Airport to go to Florida. I got the passport from 7 to 2 p.m. Went right to the airport. Was supposed to have a 3:30 flight. Delayed 3 hours.
No.
Coming home.
Shit.
I finally got home like midnight last night.
Wow, bro.
But passport in hand.
Well, we appreciate you being here,
And the crazy thing about it, I was telling Frankie earlier, my friend calls me, who I was staying with in Florida. He goes, your passport showed up today.
No fucking way.
Which I would have never had enough time because he had to overnight it,
Yeah.
and they didn't have to get my flight.
Sure.
So now I have two passports.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. So he tells me, look, if you ever get arrested and they take your passport, you got an
get
extra one.
another one.
I said, thanks for looking out after me, man. I said, Kevin, thanks for looking out after me. I ever get arrested. Are you crazy?
Those days are behind you.
Yeah, those days are behind me. I did 6 years in prison. Done.
Wow.
So now I have my passport. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've never been to Europe.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, I've been to. Like I said, I've been to London, but never. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Actually, I have a layover in London for 2 hours. So I'm gonna try and
Heathrow, right? Heathrow's the airport.
Yes, Heathrow.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and run to London Bridge and back.
Yeah.
Are you crazy? So, but that's what's happening. The last 2 days were crazy, man.
That is nuts.
And now I'll stay up tonight when I go home.
Right.
Because I'm like 80 miles away here.
Yeah.
And I'll stay up all night, pack, and I'll sleep on a plane.
Yeah.
Because it's 7 hours to London. I have a 2-hour layover. Then it's another 2.5 hours from London to Rome.
You picked a bad time to not do drugs, and Ambien would do you a lot of good on the flight.
Oh, no, I've taken Ambien before to sleep because I have a hard time going to sleep. If I sleep 3 hours a night, I'm lucky.
But Ambien, they say Ambien.
Just
really,
the way you're wired?
I'm just wired, man. Wired. And see, some of my friends say, what are you talking about? I sleep 8-10 hours.
No.
That's the last time I had 10 hours sleep. I was in a bassinet. Are you crazy?
I'm like maybe 5 or 6 a night, something like that.
I can't
What do you
do
get?
Oh, I sleep. I'm a sleeper.
Do you?
Do you really?
I mean, I go to bed 12, wake up 7.
Let me tell you something. As soon as my head hits the pillow, my mind's racing 1,000 miles an hour. I'm thinking about so many crazy things.
I can be
like
exhausted
I can't just
all day and then lay down and I can't go to sleep. It's crazy.
Me, I fall right to sleep.
Do you really?
I'll wake up 1,000 times in the middle of the night, but I'll fall asleep.
I have to turn on the TV and watch TV.
Same.
And I haven't had TV for 6 years already. I watch videos because I'm always away. I'm never home.
Right,
and I'm paying $250 a month for cable.
It's crazy.
So I'm saying hell with it. I just took it out.
Just get a smart TV. It's got everything on it you need,
Smart. See some dumb TVs before, man. But I just watch old movies. In fact, you know what I watched last night? Body and Soul with John Garfield.
John Garfield. I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, I'm not
Garfield.
familiar with that either.
No? One of the greatest movies.
Is that right? Now I gotta watch it.
He's coming up in a fight game, and he can't get a title fight until he goes with the wise guys. So through the whole movie, this guy keeps saying, everybody dies. You, this one, that one. He goes, well, what's the point? What's the point? So at the end, he's supposed to throw the fight. And he's got a guy that he fought, and he was supposed to go easy on him, and he wound up knocking the guy out, and the guy was sick the whole time. Okay. He had a blood clot on his brain. He didn't know it, and he felt bad, so he took him in as a trainer the whole time. And this guy kept saying, everybody dies, everybody dies. And then this guy, Ben, dies at the end. And he was paid $60,000 to throw the fight. He goes, I'm not taking a dive for nobody. I'm not taking it. He goes, who says a dive? 15-round decision. He goes, 15-round decision? He goes, yeah. So he takes the $60,000. Meanwhile, he tells the other guy, they played around for 12 rounds, and then the guy tried to knock him out in the 12th round, the 13th round. So he got double-crossed like Ben. He says, you double-crossed me, you sucker, the trainer. And then the next thing, he goes out there, and in the 14th round, he almost knocks this guy out. No shit. And the guy goes back to his corner. He goes, guy's crazy, man. He's crazy. Because he's supposed to throw the fight. He's supposed to win. Right. So in the 15th round, he winds up knocking the guy out.
What was the movie?
So he was supposed to lose.
He's supposed to lose. Now everybody betted on the other guy to make the money. Yeah. Because he was like, a 2-to-1, 5-to-1 favorite or whatever. So everybody bet on the other guy.
Right.
Bruce Willis, Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Remember, he was supposed to throw the fight, and he got pissed off. And
so anyway, he comes back from the dress, from the ring, and he's going out of the ring, and he goes, congratulations, champ. The old, wise guy says it. He goes, find yourself another boy. I retire. He goes, what makes you think you get away with that? He goes, what are you going to do? Kill me? Everybody dies. And that's when the wife comes in because they had going through a lot of turmoil and everything. She goes, Charlie, okay? He goes, I never felt better in my life. And they walk away, and it's boom.
I got to watch that shit.
It's awesome,
What is it, Netflix? What's it on?
Yeah, you could get it on Netflix. It's called Body and Soul with John Garfield.
I'm definitely going to watch that.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
And it's a great movie. I watch all old movies.
Yeah.
I watch all old movies. And we're talking about Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, great movie.
Mickey turned that part down. He was supposed to play the Bruce Willis part. He turned it down.
Wow.
Why? He didn't think it was going to do well?
Yeah.
Really?
Meanwhile, it launched Travolta's career.
Yes. Yeah.
Bruce Willis was already making a lot of money already.
I think like Travolta brought him back.
Brought him back.
Yeah.
Travolta was like Staying Alive. It was like
brought him back. He kind of
Staying Alive. I worked on Staying Alive.
Did you really?
Yeah. Sylvester Stallone wrote it.
Yes.
Wrote it and directed it.
Did he really?
Yes.
I didn't know he wrote that.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He's talented. He's super talented.
Sylvester Stallone wrote Staying Alive and directed it. His first, directorial job, and I was his bodyguard on the show. Wow. And I worked for John Travolta, Stallone.
I had no idea that.
Yeah.
No shit. That's crazy.
No,
Staying Alive. That was a great.
I knew he wrote Rocky.
And if you look, Travolta was in the best shape of his life.
He was.
He was all juiced up. He was ripped up. He was everything, man.
He really was.
Yeah. And Sly had a cameo in that movie.
Did he?
If you remember, when they're walking down Broadway there, Sly had the wolf coat on. They bump into each other, so they looked at each other.
No shit.
And that was Sly's.
I gotta watch it again.
Little debut in the movie.
Yeah. Wow.
But he directed that. He wrote it and directed it.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't know.
And
that was
his
before
brother.
Rocky. That was before Rocky.
No, Rocky was first. Rocky was first, 1976.
Right.
Quentin Tarantino would always write himself into every movie. Like
Everything.
Every single movie, he'd have a little role.
Everything.
Yeah.
He's a great writer.
Genius,
oh
man.
my God.
Genius.
Pulp Fiction.
Totally different. Totally different.
The dude used to run the counter at a Blockbuster, and then had such a love for movies, and then started writing movies.
That's how it happened. Wow.
He worked at fucking Blockbuster, bro.
Wow.
The things they said in Pulp Fiction will never fly today. I'll tell you that.
No,
There'd be riots in the street, man. But
his dialogue's the best.
He's with cheese.
He's a genius.
He got a lot of heat for. Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes.
Did you see the Bruce Lee role?
Bruce Lee, yeah.
He got a little
Which
heat
I
for
got
that.
pissed off at that, too, because I don't give a shit. No stunt guy was beating Bruce Lee, man. Bruce Lee is the reason I became a martial artist.
Yeah.
After watching The Green Hornet as him as Kato, I says, I want to be like him, man.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into the whole martial arts thing.
Yeah.
I went down to Aaron Banks Karate Academy and started taking White Crane and Tiger Claw Kung Fu with Master Chin.
Oh, that's in the Bronx?
In Manhattan.
Oh, Manhattan?
Yeah, right on Times Square. And from there, I went to Tommy May's Karate Academy, and there was a guy named Master Butte, and he was studying Jukido Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, wow.
Japanese Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
And then I started studying with Tommy May in Ishino Karate, and I earned my 6th-degree black belt in Ishino.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, I went from there. I went with Chris Colombo, who was one of his students also, who had his own dojo, and Professor Visitation. and Little John Davis was his trainer.
Oh, okay.
And I started taking Vietnamese Jiu-Jitsu, Kamithi-Ru Jiu-Jitsu, Vietnamese Jiu-Jitsu, and I started training with a screamer also.
A screamer's the stick
Yeah,
fighting,
sticks
right?
fighting, yeah.
That's
No
cool.
shit.
So I trained with all these 8 different styles.
Ah, that's awesome.
And then, of course, I was always boxing when I was a kid, so I always,
Your dad
my
was a
dad was a
boxer.
professional fighter
Yeah.
back in the 30s and the 40s.
In New York. In New York.
He was born in Harlem, but he fought all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, he fought the semifinal fight to the Tony Zale Graziano fight in Yankee Stadium.
Oh, man.
No
You know?
shit.
Yeah, and they used to fight in Stillman's gym,
Wow.
right in New York City, where everybody trained. You know, Jake
Yeah.
LaMotta and
Yeah.
Graziano and
Yeah.
everybody. And back in the day, nobody used their real names because my father's name was my name, Charles Zito Sr. But he had his cousin was Fidel LaBarba, who used to be the flyweight champion of the world in 1927. So he took his name. So he called himself Al LaBarba.
What was the reasoning behind not using your real name?
Nobody wanted to use their real name. Look, Sugar Ray Robinson was Walker Smith.
Okay.
That's his real name, Walker Smith?
Walker Smith.
Get out.
Rocky Graziano was Rocco Barbella.
No shit.
Wow.
Bojack was Sidney Walker. So nobody used their
Never
real
knew that.
names.
Yeah, yeah.
Rocky Marciano was Rocco Marcincello. You know, so nobody used their real names.
Yeah.
So my father used LaBarba as his fighting name. So
Wow. That's
in
wild.
12
crazy,
years,
yeah.
my father used to fight 2-3 times a week, sometimes twice a night. You couldn't fight in the same state, so you go to Connecticut, jump on a train, and fight in New York City
Damn.
for $10 a fight.
That's crazy.
Imagine that.
Our-
Here's $10. Don't spend it all in one
That's
place.
fucking crazy, man.
And when you think that Mayweather made $400 million on one fight when he
Yeah.
fought McGregor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But $10 back then might have been.
it was like $100 bucks, but still,
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
$10.
Yeah.
You know, guys wouldn't even do what he crazy.
Yeah.
But
Did it for the
in
love of
12
it, I
years,
guess.
my father had 228 fights.
That,
Wow.
And when you look at guys like, you know, Mayweather, who's in it, 26 years now?
50 fights, 51.
50 and 0.
Yeah.
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 Okay, 50 and 0 because Marciano was 49 and 0.
Right.
But you know, I don't know how
Right.
they you can't put that on the same level because if you think about it, Julio Cesar Chavez
He was like 80,
Went
80 and 0, right? It was
90
I know.
90 and 0.
Oh,
And
90
he
and
fought
0?
90 and 0
Wow.
and he fought Frankie Randall and he lost.
Yeah.
So he was 90 and 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
He wanted to make it to 100 and retire.
And lost
But he
that
never.
one. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
But dude, yes, how can they say that? You know, like
yeah, here's a guy who went 90 and 0.
I know.
So how could you say
yeah,
you're better? Okay, because he
No,
retired
it's just the word undefeated. That just,
Undefeated.
It's that word, you know, to say you're
Yeah.
undefeated, especially when you get up in those, you know.
But I mean, you know, shit. If you're 1-0, you're undefeated. Does that make you better than?
No,
a guy
I was
that's
going to
10?
say,
No,
that's
you know
what I
what
just
mean?
said,
Yeah.
especially when you get up in those
No, don't get me
upper-
wrong.
those higher
I mean,
numbers,
yeah.
you know what? Floyd Mayweather is so a
Talented.
great fighter, fast.
sure.
And I didn't realize what a great fighter he was until he fought Arturo Thunder Gatti. Because I walked him in the ring that night. And first of all, I was so mad because I just spoke about this on a documentary will be coming out. I was so mad at Buddy McGirt because he changed. You know, Arturo used to just put his head in your chest
and go.
and throw bombs.
Yeah.
Your body head, like Mickey Ward.
Right.
Body shots. And he's decided to go out there and box Floyd Mayweather.
The best boxer.
That's like telling
Right.
Joe Frazier to
Right.
go box Muhammad Ali.
right.
Right.
It's not
right.
happening.
Yeah.
So he was getting
Right.
banged up. I'll tell you one thing about Floyd. He'll throw 10 punches at you. He landed every punch.
Yeah.
He's so accurate
Yeah.
and fast.
Right.
And he was just kicking the shit out of
right hand.
Arturo.
But he
So I
doesn't-
jumped up in the
He
ring.
won't do that brawl style, which a lot of people
No.
won't. You know, like when Manny Pacquiao.
Why
fought him.
should he? I mean, look at him. He's still, good-looking
Yeah,
guy.
no.
He's not banged up.
Totally
Never
agree.
got hurt.
Totally
That's
agree.
what it's about.
Never got cut.
Yeah.
I think the fans often want to see those.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
brawls.
of course,
but you're not
of
going to be
course.
undefeated when you fight like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Look at Toro. He never had an easy fight.
Yeah.
Every fight was a brawl. Every fight.
right.
He get cut. He get banged up.
Well,
look
look
at
how-
Rualis. He was
well, look
getting
how-
his ass kicked.
Look how beloved
that-
he is, though.
And that one left hook knocked Rualis out
Yep.
dead, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But that night with Mayweather, he fought the wrong fight. And I went up there. I says, Toro, Stop boxing this guy.
Yeah.
And Buddy says, I'm his trainer. I'll tell. I said, Buddy, he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Put your head in his chest and throw bombs. Stop
Right.
boxing this guy.
Right.
And he tried to box a great boxer, and it's not happening.
I remember, what was that? That was like, what, 2005, 2006 maybe?
What year was he killed? Arturo.
11 years ago. 11 years
So
ago.
he's like 09.
You know,
But
09.
I think this was like, 06 maybe. 06 maybe it was.
Which
05
one?
fight-
Mayweather?
Mayweather fight? 05, 06?
It's more like 04 because he fought, I think he fought,
But I remember watching that, and it was in Atlantic City, right?
yeah, most of his fights.
Yeah.
Arturo Gatti generated more money for Atlantic City than in any boxer in history.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Most of his fights, and they were all sellout.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Thunderstruck.
He's a Jersey guy.
He ran out
Yeah.
to Thunderstruck. Yeah, dude, I was like, he's Italian guy. He's born in Canada, but he
He was born in Montreal.
I didn't know that.
He
Really?
was born in Montreal,
Oh, wow,
and
okay.
they moved to Jersey City,
Yeah.
and then he moved to Hoboken.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I thought he was gonna beat Mayweather. We're all Jersey guy, Italian
For
guy.
sure.
I'm like, fuck it, we
For
got
sure.
this.
Yeah. And the crazy man. I remember it was yesterday. It's a shame, man. Yeah, I miss that guy. And I just did a big documentary that's coming out soon with a documentary about him, his life. And the not the weigh-in, but the press conference. It was supposed to be a Toro first, and then an hour later, of course, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
In the middle of a Toro's, press conference, Mayweather comes walking in, and the first thing they did, they had the whole setup for lunch and everything. He went right to the table. He started eating. He goes, Toro, you can't do this because Toro. Don't forget, he used to walk around. Between fights, 180 pounds.
Right.
He would lose 40 pounds for the fight, which drained him.
Yeah.
Totally drained him. Then he used to go up after weigh-in. He'd go up, lay down. They put IVs through him and start eating steak. And he put 15 pounds on.
Yeah.
But Floyd, his whole career, he could eat anything he wanted. He stayed the same weight, and he was antagonizing a Toro. And a Toro just came out, and he went right up to me and goes, I'm going to knock you the fuck out tomorrow night. And that was it. But he turned the tide around because, like I said, Floyd's Mayweather's a great guy, and we became dear friends later on in life. Yeah. And he always thanked Arturo because that was his first HBO fight, his first TV fight, Floyd.
Right.
So Arturo opened the doors for him and make money.
Dollars.
And he always thanked, Arturo for it. And I remember I was at one of his press conferences, and he thanked. He goes, I still want to thank Arturo Gatti for getting me my first HBO fight.
That's awesome.
And I also want to thank his camp because he knew I was in his corner.
Yeah.
And I went, and we became friends.
Now his murder's never been solved, right?
Nope. But we're going to bring out, the truth.
Yeah.
And his wife was the only suspect, and she was arrested for his murder.
I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
But the murder happened in Brazil.
Right.
She was Brazilian.
Right.
And if you ever been to Brazil, you could buy yourself out of jail.
Yeah. Right.
And 2 weeks later, they let her out. And I remember her walking out of that gate, smiling and smirking with a fucking smirk on her,
Because she had control of his money and could buy her way out.
Now, that's another thing.
Oh, because he's Brazilian national. Yeah.
So it happened in Brazil. He got killed in Brazil. So what happened was, not even 2 weeks before his death, she had him change the will. She changed the will, and he signed it like one of his drunken days, and he signed it, and she got everything. He had $8 million in cash. He had cars, motorcycles, property, houses. She got everything. And he would never, ever leave his mother out of the will, leave his sister, leave his brother out.
Wow.
She got everything.
Wow.
And now she's turning her son into a boxer. He's 11 years old today, boxing, because she wants to make money off of him now.
Jeez.
And I heard she went through all of her money.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Now, where is she living now?
Well, she was in Brazil, but I heard she's in Canada now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Canada, where he's from.
Yeah.
Montreal,
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yep. But the truth will come out one day, and we'll get justice for Arturo Gatti because
is this documentary anything you can talk about, like when it's coming out or what it's going to be on?
Well, we just did it, but all the top people are myself and Mike Sciarra and they just did Mickey Ward yesterday.
Okay. Mickey
Ward's doing it. Probably his manager Pat Lynch is doing it, and we're all on board. Doing the documentary because they're bringing it out.
The public's going to learn some stuff
they're
going
to
learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
They had doctors. They exhumed the body. Months later because they never did a good autopsy. Yeah. Found out when he exhumed them.
I've seen some documentary. I don't know if it was on HBO a while back about it, but how there was, they could tell there was definitely foul play.
And what happened was they said he hung himself from a purse strap, which was 3 feet long.
Yeah,
that broke under 30 pounds of pressure.
Right. Yeah, he's fucking.
And then when he fell, his head landed under the cabinet. Now, when you fall, your head's not going to land under the cabinet.
Right.
Yeah, they showed him laying there with the blood and everything, and then they found out that his gold chains that he had on that were in a getting steamed. She was steaming him to get the blood out of it. Wow. She got caught. There's a lot of stuff coming out.
Wow.
And we're trying to open up the case, but because it's Brazil, they don't want to open up the case because she'll definitely be arrested for his murder.
Yeah. Wow.
So
can they try her here? I wonder.
No, they can't because it happened in Brazil.
Yeah.
So if they try to here, forget about it. We got the electric chair.
Right.
So beware.
You should have told. You should have. Roger
Like
could have seen this long. Could have had this interview a long time ago.
I did.
What was the
remember this movie? Murdoch, I'm coming for you.
What was the advice the guy you used to work with years ago with your dad? The advice he gave you, what was it?
My dad.
Before you got married.
I used to be in the union as a plumber.
Okay.
And I was about to get married, and he's like, "Kid." His name was Bubba. He worked for my dad. Good, great guy.
Fat fingers, right?
Yeah, he had like short hands with the fattest fingers, these big hands. And he's like, buy your pussy and eating diners. You'll save a lot of money. I'm like, oh man, he's kind of right.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. Toro was buying the pussy, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because both the girls they had kids with were strippers in a strip club. So
he's got 2 children.
Yes, he has one that
one with the Brazilian, and then
he has a daughter
with the Brazilian girl.
The son has.
That's right. The box,
So he had one stripper from Scores that wound up having a kid, and he met this other stripper in Squeeze in Hoboken, and she was stripping there. And. I could say it on the air.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you can
of course.
This champ of the
sucking his cock in the back room.
Yeah.
And of course, he let his little head think for his big head.
Yeah.
That happens.
So that's what happened. And she got conveniently pregnant. That's why I call them the gold diggers. And they had kids. But you can't take it on the kids. I mean,
for sure.
You can't because they don't have. Yeah. You know what? Someday Junior will find out the truth.
Right.
And be searching for answers.
Yeah.
And he'll come out. Maybe not come, find me, but he'll find Pat Lynch, who was his manager, and of course Mike Sciarra, and he'll find out the truth. But now he's being brainwashed, by his mother, of course.
Yeah, that's tough.
Who's turning him into a boxer so she can make money off the kid.
Crazy.
He's only 11 years old.
Yeah.
Let him enjoy his his youth.
Yeah.
It's one thing to train. Don't make him, be a boxer and everything. So, she figures, Toro Gatti Jr. with that name will make all kinds of money.
He's a Toro Jr.?
Yes, he's a Toro Jr., yes.
Yeah.
And he looks like him.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
So, you can't blame the kids. I blame the...
not their fault.
But, imagine shit, your dad did box, and you wanted to box as your dad boxed. So imagine this guy, because his dad's this legend that he never got to meet.
Yeah,
absolutely. Of course, he's going to want to follow in his footsteps. I imagine,
absolutely. But it's just a shame that
he's
being pushed into it
right.
so she can make money off the kid.
Yeah.
But she was a gold digger from day one. She stole all Toro's money. The family never got nothing. And I have no love
That's crazy.
for that.
No, I don't.
You
I
know,
don't blame
so-
you. Yeah.
Especially if she takes what he earns. You know what I mean? That's
Oh.
crazy. Isn't that going on
And,
right
and,
now?
and
with
you know
Britney
what?
Spears?
It's the
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
thing about it
Isn't Britney
is
Spears like?
the writing. It was on the wall a week, not even 2 weeks, a week and a half before his death. He signed a new will.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He had left his whole family out of everything, and she got everything.
Why would he do that though? Why?
Why? Because she was
Pussy
filling him,
Yeah,
drugs, and sometimes that pussy's more powerful than
it's true.
guys go through it.
That's true.
And like I said, they conveniently got pregnant from Toro, and that was their meal ticket.
Right.
So
I'm sure a lot. I mean, like,
So the kid is 11, and he died 11 years ago. Was
no,
she
the kid actually is he died 11 years ago. So I think the kid just turned 12 because he was a year old.
Oh, okay.
He was a year old, and he went out to Brazil.
Yeah.
And she kept saying they to reconcile their marriage and everything. He went out to Brazil to get his son and tell her he wants a divorce,
Oh wow.
and he never made it home.
that's
So-
probably said he wanted a divorce, and she
Yeah, so
set him up.
Well, you would
it
have.
was all set up. Yeah. So when they exhumed the body, which they never did in the first autopsy, they found his whole body was black and blue, like somebody beat him with a baseball bat. So
Oh, so she didn't do it then, probably.
no, not she.
Yeah,
She
he
had,
probably got
He's an
somebody.
able-bodied guy, but
Yeah.
so there
Yeah.
had to be some other guy.
but he had a stab wound in the back of the neck.
Oh, he did.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there's a lot coming out. There's a lot by doctors, by
And there's
pathologists,
no no statute of limitations on murder, right?
but it happened in Brazil.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I was arrested in Brazil myself, and
Were
you know what? In a police car, a block away, I gave him $20 and let me out.
Done. Yeah.
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 We had a big brawl in the first night I got there.
You got out of it cheap. $20. That's not bad.
$20. I'll forget about it. They don't make
20
money out
bucks
there.
is like
That's
it's
not
like
bad. Make out
60
of it.
hay
Yeah,
eyes.
I don't know if you ever been to Brazil, but it's a crazy,
I have not.
Yeah.
crazy
I have not.
place.
Isn't that where the Olympians got in trouble for fucking? They were.
There's a place there.
Yeah.
I
Right?
forgot the name of it, but that one strip, it's a few blocks long, and either to the right or the left, it's just poor. There's no like in the middle. It's
the
poor.
favelas, right?
Yes, and people do not stop for red lights. They go right through it. I
Yeah.
saw a guy get
Yeah.
hit by a bus because they went through the red light because they get hijacked.
Well,
They
it's
get
mostly
yeah.
guys
you know,
on mopeds and motorcycles, right? Fucking guy on back.
little
jumps off
kids.
the-
Little kids have guns. They come up to you,
That's
13,
crazy.
14 years old, and put a gun to your stomach and say, "Give me the money and your watch and your rings and everything." Now, when I went out there, I used to wear rings on every finger.
Show these rings to the
You know,
crowd.
I used to.
These are the
my-
craziest
my-
rings I've
my-
ever seen in my life.
My TCB Elvis. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. So I had rings on every finger. When I was Hell's Angel, I had all my gold on rings. And even the Hell's Angels said, "Brother, don't wear that. We'll get killed, man. We'll get killed." You know, it's crazy. They used to rob you.
Yeah.
And they used to shoot kids right on the beach because they would go in there. They would come 20 deep and rob all the rich people on the beach.
You ever
And-
see
and
those?
I
They have
feel-
those. They do this mass robbings where like you'll be on the beach and like
Yes, yeah.
20 people will come and just
Yeah.
totally just
Yep.
steal everybody's shit as they run down
The
the beach.
cops in the cars, they have machine guns. They shoot these guys right on the spot.
Yeah.
There's no trial.
Yeah.
There's no this. You
I
know.
feel like people do not realize how lucky they are to live in
Oh,
America.
yeah.
They
dude,
just
yeah.
don't.
Thank
They
you.
wanna-
Especially
Thank you.
these up and comer kids, these millennials, they just don't get it. Go spend a fucking well, first of all, they wouldn't live, but spend a week in Brazil in the poor part, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't come
Yeah.
back. You know,
Yeah. Right.
and you think America's horrible.
They don't-
Get the fuck
yeah,
out of
These
right.
here.
people,
Yeah.
people
Get the
that
fuck
don't
outta
want to stand for the flag.
Oh, that gets me crazy,
these,
man.
as you see this event with this,
Crazy, bro. Don't
and
get
like,
me started.
yo, if you went,
Don't
you
get
were,
me
if you
started.
were for another country, they'll kill you for that.
I
How
go
did-
crazy. I don't care. I don't care
You
if you guys.
agreed.
Yeah.
You agreed to represent the United States, the country you live in. You agreed to represent it,
Yeah.
but you won't stand for the
You see
national
Tim
anthem.
Kennedy, he
What
put
the
a little
fuck?
post like, "You have that right."
Yeah.
He's like, "You have that right. I fight for you to have that right." But it's
Really?
Still, it's just,
That's a
what
bunch
he
of
said.
bullshit,
Well, I
man.
didn't- I didn't
Because
say
I
that.
see somebody that,
No,
I'm telling
he
them,
says
hey, stand for the
he
fucking.
don't agree with it. Obviously, he's like, I don't agree with it. He's like, but
Yeah, I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
yeah, it is.
And then they're allowed to burn the flag and all
I
that
know,
bull.
I
Yeah,
know.
try burning one in front of me, see what
I
happens.
suppose, I get Tim Kennedy's point. It's freedom of speech, but why would you want to represent a country that you hate? That
Yeah, I
doesn't
know,
Make,
like,
that doesn't make sense.
that's
to
what
me.
I'm saying. Especially it's like the Olympics. Like you're there to represent your country. You're not
Yeah.
representing your sport or
Yeah.
this anything.
Right.
Plus, she was third. If she was first, come
Right.
on.
Who's
maybe
that?
she-
Maybe that's why she did it.
track star.
Oh, okay.
She
And that other
turned away from
what
me.
soccer star that other
yeah,
homo
yeah,
there
yeah.
that dyke there whatever it was
Yeah.
right.
Megan rapping.
Oh, forget about it. She wouldn't right.
Yeah.
Well, she's
And
pissed.
she grabbed somebody's flag because they were waving it. She threw it on the floor. I would have knocked her out. I don't care what it
her
is.
big issue is that women are not getting paid the same as men. That's her big issue. But the simple argument to that, it's the simplest argument
It's
ever.
what
You get paid on the revenue that you bring in.
First of all,
If you bring in big numbers, you get paid an equivalent of that. And there's women's soccer is not even close to the revenue that men's soccer brings in. So why would you want to be on how could you ever expect
I know they're basing on they win and the men don't win, but it's the nature of sports.
But
you know what I mean? It's the way it goes.
whether you're winning or not winning, it's based on revenue.
Exactly, yeah.
It's based on revenue.
Yeah, exactly.
but you know what? And I said it recently. I put it on my. I do a lot of Instagram stuff, and sometimes I'll get political. I'll do this and that, and I say, you know what? Especially like Veterans Day or Memorial Day, because Memorial Day is for all those who gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
And that's what it's not to say, hey, happy Memorial Day, because it's not a happy day.
Correct.
And I show people like graves, kids, saluting their fathers, everything.
Correct.
And I say, these guys gave their ultimate sacrifice and died for our country and our flag.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay? I says, there's people who wait on lines at Costco, at Home Depot. They'll wait for hours for a sale.
Right.
But some of those same people won't stand for our flag.
Yeah.
The flags that it's draped over our dead soldiers.
Right.
And I get crazy with
Yeah,
that, man.
no,
I'm
I
a
agree,
big, I'm a
man.
big patriot.
History
patriotic,
is being lost and is being rewritten.
Ah, man.
Yeah,
It's sad.
They're trying to do, I hate to get into politics or even start it because it gets me nuts, man. But, tearing down these statues and erasing our history, they're there for a reason. Okay? And for them to use, bullshit over, and use our country and our flag.
History is history, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
You
know what? I blame. I blame the managers of all the teams because they don't. If they had the ball, say, hey, you know what? You're on my time.
Right.
You stand for that flag.
That's what Jerry
You want to
Jones
nail?
did.
You want to kneel?
Right.
You're off.
But
You're
at the
out.
end of the
Jerry-
day, the
Yes.
people have the power because if people tune it out and don't watch, it doesn't.
Well, a lot
generate
of people-
revenue.
a lot of
They
people
can't-
have.
They
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
A lot of people have.
yeah.
That's what I'm
A
saying.
lot of people have.
It really comes down to the people watching because
Yeah.
if people aren't tuning in and they tune it out, I don't watch it anymore.
I never watched it.
I heard Jerry Jones did say it. He's like, "This is my team. You're fucking standing for a flag." But then, once it kept going on, they must have been pressuring him, so he kind of.
Yeah, he let go too.
Yeah, he did. He did.
If these managers had balls, says, hey, you're working for me. You're on my time.
Right.
You do not kneel. You stand there and represent your country.
Right.
If you do, you're gone. Go find another job. Go work at McDonald's or something. But they don't have the balls.
And my
Nobody has the
whole thing,
balls
too,
no
is
more.
like, supposedly, this is what I heard. This is what someone in the Army told me, that the reason we salute the flag and have do the national anthem at games specifically is because we're giving thanks to those people that are overseas dying while we're playing a fucking game.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. And especially Memorial Day,
yeah,
and all those guys, when they hit that beach, before they even got off the boat, they were fucking shot.
Yeah.
D-Day, they called it.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but let's get off the politics. I get fucking nuts, man.
I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah,
Roger
yeah,
loves
yeah.
politics.
yeah.
I just don't understand. If you hate the country you live in, no matter what country it is,
Move the fuck out.
leave. Fucking leave.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not that hard.
And look what's happening
You love
today.
socialism.
Look what's happening
There's
today.
plenty of socialist countries you can move to.
All the disrespect. It's terrible to be a cop today.
Yeah.
Because they have no respect. They have nothing. I'd go crazy, man.
Speaking of cops,
There we go.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Frankie.
cops.
Charlie Kingery from Live PD. He actually, Charlie, I hope I'm not fucking blowing up your spot, but he just put it in his 2 weeks resignation. Doesn't want to do it anymore. Lost his love for being a cop because of all the pressure on cops.
Absolutely.
He's on Live PD. He's one of the most popular, cops that was on it. Obviously, the show got canceled, but he's got a podcast now. He's traveling around the country. He's doing comedy shows.
Hopefully he gets
but anyway,
some pension out of that, right?
Yeah, he put his 2 weeks in, man. Couldn't do it anymore.
After how long?
Oh, I don't know how many years. He was there a long time. But anyway, he sent us hoodies. I got mine at home. Thin Line Apparel, man. There you go. That's his new
Awesome,
clothing line.
awesome.
So yeah,
Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it, my
yeah,
man.
and he and he's flying up here next month to come on.
All
So
right, let's go. Sweet.
let's go, Charlie.
A lot of guys are doing that.
Yep.
They're resigning early.
Yeah.
They're not even waiting for their 20 years. They
yeah.
says, hey, you know what? We don't get the respect.
Yeah.
You can't do your job,
Right.
or they'll be brought up. They'll be fired. It's crazy.
I forget where it was. Was it Portland, Oregon? 50 guys on the SWAT team walked off. I think it was Portland.
Yeah. Portland.
Walked,
They've been
walked
getting
off.
They're not getting
Because
any
they
support
said,
whatsoever.
"Fuck this, we're not doing this anymore."
Yeah.
The whole uniform across the board, everybody walked.
And
off.
meanwhile, it's the ones who defunded the cop. They'll be the first one to call the cops.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
Crazy.
So
Man. I don't get it.
it's crazy.
Crime is up 200% in 8 cities that all want to defund the police. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, it's logic. It's not that hard to figure
No,
out why.
it's really
right?
not.
Come on.
It's crazy what's going on today. I can't even, let's get off it because we could go on and on about this bullshit, man. Who's getting beat up for just being white or
Anybody
or Asian or
anybody-
whatever,
Most people under the age of 25 will hate us for having this conversation.
Oh, fuck them anyway. If you don't like it,
exactly.
don't tune in, man. Fuck it. I
You
tell
heard,
right there.
you heard it here first from Chuck Zito.
I
You don't
tell
like
him,
it, don't tune
you know
the
what?
fuck in.
I'm a pro-Trump guy, man. I wear Trump's the best. Fuck the rest.
Yeah, I saw it.
Democrats are destroying our country. Impeach my balls. Everything. You don't like it? Don't follow me.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of which, not that it has to do with Trump, but I see it's in red, white, and blue. What's your website on the back of your tailgate there? You sell merchandise too, right?
Yes.
What is it?
It's ItalianBadBoyWear.com.
Italian Bad Boy
Yeah.
Wear. I saw that on the way in.
I started selling some shirts and books. My book that I've been selling since when it came out in 2002, and it's still selling.
Is
It's
it really? No
amazing,
shit.
man. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah. That's
My
awesome.
first book that I did was called Street Justice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tells you my life, my autobiography,
Yeah.
and it's still selling to this day.
I met
How
you.
was writing? You wrote that yourself? Or you
I
get
wrote it.
help,
I
or-
wrote it with a guy named Joe Layden. What we did was we probably had 10, 15 meetings for 8 hours a day and a tape recorder, and I told my whole life, and he went out and put my words
He was a ghostwriter. Yeah.
on paper. He's not a ghostwriter because he has his name. It says Chuck Zito with Joe Layden.
Oh, okay.
And forward by Sean Penn. Sean Penn wrote the forward for me.
Get out
It
of
was
here.
a great forward, man.
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? I should have brought books. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
I was I met you years ago. You fought Spencer Fisher in Newark, and you were in line to get into the UFC
Absolutely.
center. It was
Absolutely.
brand new. That
Yeah.
it had just been built, and I was
Potentially,
standing right next to you. I obviously knew who you were. Didn't want to be that dork like, oh Chuck, but I was standing right next to you on the way in. Yeah. Small world.
Yeah. But that's everything happened over there. It's just going, man. And like I said, I had some shirts, and my book is still going, and people still buying it.
Good deal,
And it's
man.
crazy because people are buying it in Europe,
Oh, wow.
in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're a household
Well, hey,
name, brother.
now you go to Italy. Watch, you're gonna get a lot of
Oh,
fans
yeah,
over
yeah,
there,
yeah,
too,
yeah.
you know?
And they're telling me, Chuck, you got to come. There's so many people waiting for you
Yeah.
to come to Italy. They've
That's
been
awesome, bro.
announcing it that I'm there for the last month.
That's awesome.
You got to show up, and I just felt so bad. And finally, like I said,
Cool.
I just got back
Get the
from
passport.
and I got my
Your
passport.
heritage is from there, right? Your grandparents?
Yes,
came
from
over here?
Calabria.
Yeah,
Yes. My grandparents were born. My mother and father were born in Italy,
Right.
and so was my other grandfather. And also,
You're
my
gonna,
mom
you're gonna go
was
back,
born in
get to
Jersey
see some of
City.
your roots
Oh,
when you're
okay,
over there?
wow.
Yeah.
Ah.
Huh?
You're gonna get to see some of your roots when you're over there and check out where your
The only
family's from?
roots I see is the gray in my hair, man.
There ain't no gray in that hair, brother.
No. I just had it done today. There's a new thing called Just for Men.
Rock
It works
those.
great, man.
I need it for the beard, man.
It
The
works
beard
great.
is getting gray.
In fact, when I did a home front with Jason Statham
Yeah.
and James Franco, Winona Ryder, and Keith Bosworth, Sylvester Stallone was the writer.
Oh, really?
He wrote
this
it.
dude has written more shit that I didn't know about.
It's crazy. Homefront was written
Yeah.
by Sylvester Stallone.
Did you know that?
And
didn't know
directed
that.
by Gary Fleeter. So what happened is, it was funny, Kelly, who was working on the wardrobe for Sons of Anarchy when I did the show on the 5th season, I played Frankie Diamonds on Sons of Anarchy, and she came. She goes, "Look, I just had a show. I'm getting a show doing wardrobe for this movie called Homefront," and the director Gary Fleeter wants you to play the main, biker. I said, great.
Sign me
So I
up.
called him up. I said, look, he goes, look, Chuck, I've been a big fan of yours for years. I first met you at Cafe Central when I used to go there. And I want you to play the biker. I said, great, I'm done. He goes, well, we got to ask the guy who, the writer. I said, well, who is it? He goes, Sylvester Stallone. I said, what, he crazy? I'm having lunch with him tomorrow. I said, no problem. So I'm having lunch and because Arnold and myself and we always met at Cafe Roma in Beverly Hills. So Arnold's there and Avi Lerner, who was the producer, the money guy, and Sly is there and a couple other people. And I said, Sly, I said, I just got called for a movie and that you're doing a biker movie. He goes, I'm not doing a biker movie. I said, what are you talking about? I said, Gary Fleeter he goes, oh, I wrote that movie. I said, well, he says it's up to you to get me. He goes, look, ask, Avi. So I said, Avi, I says, I just did. And he goes, no, ask Sly. I said, whoa, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. And he goes, it was going south real quick. I said, who the fuck do I have to ask? Sly gets up, he makes a phone call. He comes back 10 minutes later. He goes, okay, you're playing Danny T.
Yeah, the guy.
So I played Danny T, the head of,
awesome. So can you talk
Outcast
about,
Motorcycle Club?
elaborate on the Sons of, I don't know what you can talk about, what you can't, the Sons of Anarchy deal, like you had a lawsuit with them, right? And then you ended up on the show.
The crazy thing about it, I was suing them for 2 years.
Yeah, $5 million, right?
I was, yes. I actually went and with my treatment, with my book, with my script, and I sat down with FX, John Landgraf, and who was the president of FX.
Just to clarify for the audience, this is prior to Sons of Anarchy coming out.
Prior,
Right.
yeah. Before Sons of Anarchy. So they says, they looked it over, everything else. They called me a week later, and they said, look, we passed. We don't want to do a motorcycle series. I said, all right, cool. So a year later, I went in with different representation. I said, well, let me go approach them again. So we called them. And they said, look, we can't take the meeting. We're already working on a motorcycle series. I said, whoa, back up and regroup, man. I said, what do you mean? Last year you said you didn't want to do one.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, they had the, Kurt Sutter was working on a TV series called The Shield. Right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm just trying to get it all in my mind back, regrouping my mind here. But he was doing a thing called, the cop show called The Shield.
Yeah.
Now, he was working for FX already. So he winds up doing this show. Now, my show was called Wild Angels. That was my bike club in there called the Wild Angels. And he wound up doing Sons of Anarchy. Now, when I'm watching this show, right, I was known as Charming Chuck in the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. They come from the town of Charming. A guy had a Hells Angels tattoo on him. We body grinded it off him. They used a torch. They used everything from my book.
Yeah, right.
And we went to summary judgment. I had a great judge for like 2 years. And the guy was in his 70s. He used to come, with the robe on, and underneath it, he wore a black leather vest. I mean, he was just a good dude. And just like a month before I was supposed to go to court for summary judgment, there was another judge. And I went in there, and I had my lawyer. FX walked in with 5 lawyers from the 5 different law firms, and the judge goes, I don't think they stole Mr. Zito's idea. I'm going with the studio. Dismissed.
Wow.
And I went crazy. I said, what are you talking about? I'm dismissed. And he's telling me, hey, you'll get held for contempt. Just be quiet.
Yeah.
I said, well, I appeal it. I want to appeal it. So I was appealing it. And then I get a call from my lawyer a couple days later, and they says, look, Kurt Sutter's lawyer's called and wants a meeting with you. I said, for what? He says, well, he wants to talk to you, and he probably wants to put you on the show. I said, no, I'm appealing this. He goes, look, now, my lawyer took it on contingency. you don't get paid, which means you don't get paid. He don't get paid until you win the case.
Right, yeah.
Right.
They offered him to pay all the money, for the last 2 years, and give me a part on the show if I dropped the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Which I was stupid at the time. So I took the meeting with Kurt Sutter the first time I meet him, and the crazy thing about it, he turned out to be a pretty good guy. But at first, he put on his blog, he goes, "Yeah, this guy Chuck Zito thinks he get money from us. Well, there's no talent, actor and everything else ain't getting shit from us. And right away, I want to catch the first plane out there and go knock this motherfucker out, man." So my lawyers told me, "You can't hit the guy, you can't do nothing." I said, "Okay." So he says he wants a meeting. I said, "No, I want to appeal it." "Well, look," he goes, "my lawyer's telling me, talk me into it. We could wait 2 years before we go to trial again.
Right.
We could lose. They want to pay me and they want to put you on the show." So I says, "All right." I said, "You know what? Tell him I'll be at Cafe Roma, 1 o'clock. Now, Charlie Sheen Kurt Sutter gave Charlie Sheen a Sons of Anarchy jacket. Charlie gives it to me. I wear it to the meeting.
No fucking way.
So I meet Kurt Sutter for the first time, and he comes up to me and goes, "Look, I just want to." I said, "Wait a minute." I says, "How do you like my jacket to show you how much I love your show?" So there was a little tag there called Charlie. He's looking. He goes, "Is that the one I gave Charlie Sheen?" I said, "That's right. He gave it to me." He goes, "Look, I want to apologize because I saw you at the deposition, and I knew you were no serious guy." I said, "Let me tell you something. I'm here to knock you the fuck out." But I was told not to and everything else. So you know what? We sat down with him, and you know what? An hour later, I loved the guy. He was just a good dude.
Right.
We got along real well. I said, "Well, look, it's a little premature. If you pay my lawyer, like you told him, and you put me on the show, that's it."
We got a deal.
So I dropped the lawsuit. But I found out they spent $3 million fighting my case.
Damn.
They should have just gave it to me. I would have been happy.
Right?
Give it to me.
Yeah.
Why pay 5 lawyers?
That'll buy a lot of just for
So,
men.
yeah, we were going back and forth. But me and Kurt Sutter got to be good friends. I got to be good friends with John Landgraf, the president,
That's awesome.
and Nick Rad, who was the vice president for the first 2 guys I saw.
Yeah.
And we became good friends. And that was,
Good deal, man.
But what I should have did, and my lawyer should have advised me, because they just signed for 3 more years. They should have said, "Hey, I'm on a
Should've done
show,
like a
one of the
contingency.
main guys. You
Yeah.
can't fire me,
Yeah, right.
and I'm on a show." Because after the first season, that's when you start making money.
Yeah.
Right.
And what happened was the 8th episode,
They killed you.
they
off?
killed me,
Yeah. Of course.
and I
of
couldn't
course.
do nothing.
Of course. Fucking
And meanwhile, I said,
Yeah.
I promised I would drop the lawsuit,
Right.
and I had to sign something that I couldn't bring the case back.
Yeah.
But you know what? I should have stuck to my guns, because I would have eventually won, because it goes up to San Francisco in front of 3 judges, and they decide instead of that one judge.
Yeah.
And I think I would have won. But you know what? Everybody treated me great on the show.
Yeah.
When I got there, so man, I'm suing this show for 2 years.
Yeah,
they're going to have an attitude, and everybody was great, man.
That's
They
cool.
said, "Look, brother, we could come up to you and ask you for questions." I said, "Absolutely." And I got along with everybody on the show.
That's awesome.
And even Kurt Sutter, we became friends.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
funny.
What's what I'm drawing a blank. He's a great actor. The head guy, Hellboy. What's his name?
Hellboy.
From
Oh, Ron Perlman.
Perlman.
Ron
Yeah,
Perlman.
Perlman. I
Ron
love
Perlman.
Ron Perlman. He's
But,
a great actor.
Charlie Hunnam, who played Jax,
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
the main guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it, I'm drawing a blank here now. It was so long ago, but he was in with John Travolta that Western with Deborah Winger. What was the name of that? I forgot.
Drawing a blank.
Yeah. Anyway, what's his name? He was supposed to be this other guy. I'll remember his name in a minute. Probably people listening to this site. I know his fucking name.
Yeah, right.
Listen,
Yeah.
you've been on here for, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours. You've nailed every name so far. I can't
know.
remember Frankie's name half the time.
It'll come to me. Shit. He played the cowboy, the rodeo guy in
Urban Cowboy.
Urban Cowboy, and he played the rodeo guy.
Pull it up, Andrew. Pull it
Oh
up.
shit! Not John Travolta, the guy who Deborah Winger was banging the second time.
That's why we got Andrew. 'cause
Sometimes
we
my
do this all
mind
the
draws
time.
a blank, man.
Yeah.
We do it all the time,
You
man.
know.
Stick around. Watch us cut a promo at the end. You'll see it happen.
Yeah.
It's like, but
Urban Cowboy, and it was the rodeo guy that she went out with. He wound up robbing the place. Shit.
Urban Cowboy.
Anyway, he. You want me to look it up? I'll look it up because now I hate that when I forget somebody's name. You know. Hold on, I'll get it. That's why we have these phones.
Yeah, right.
So we go when we draw a blank. Hold on a second.
Oh, I got my phone.
Urban Cowboy. Here we go. Yeah. Guess what? Oh, I'm getting it now.
Close. We're getting there.
I'm getting it now because I thought I wasn't getting service here.
Roger's playing fucking video games over there.
I just give up.
No, it gets me nuts. I have to find out. Scott Glenn.
There you go.
How could I forget that? Scott Glenn. He did so many movies. Anyway, Scott Glenn, on the first, the first episode
Sons of
of
Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy, he played Clay. He played Clay.
Okay.
Okay?
I didn't realize that.
But what happened was, in the middle of they were, off camera, he pulls out a real gun. And everybody said, whoa,
No.
Yeah, and he used to carry a gun with him, a real fucking gun. So everybody went crazy, and they wound up firing Scott Glenn and hired
Because of that.
Ron Perlman, yes.
Hey, speaking of that, if we back up a little bit, you guys were both talking about, both being fighters and both being trained in martial arts. Bruce Lee.
Bruce
what
Lee.
a crazy story with his son Brandon Lee. I love the movie The Crow. What an amazing movie,
Yeah.
but he fucking died on that movie because
Yeah.
tell me
yeah.
if I'm saying this wrong, but the gun was supposed to have blanks in it.
Blanks.
Yeah.
And someone
It had
fucking put a live round
Yeah.
in it, and he got capped in the head, right? How
Captain
fucking
in
crazy
chest.
is that?
He was
Oh,
carrying.
was it chest?
He was carrying groceries.
Okay.
And when the bullet went through the bag, of course, they didn't realize it was a real bullet.
Who
until
was the
boom.
person in charge of that fucking gun?
You know what? There's
Like a
supposed
prop
to be,
guy?
yeah,
There
there's
had
supposed
to
to be
be
prop guys, and it's supposed to be
How
everything's
fucking
supposed to be checked before they show you. They stop everything. They
Yeah.
have a safety check, safety test. Everybody's around.
Yeah.
Look, it's a fake gun. It's fake bullets.
Right.
It's this, it's that. And there was
Was anybody charged in that?
no.
Like you wonder
No.
how's there even live bullets?
And
on
the
set?
crazy
On the
thing
set,
about
yeah.
it, they both died at 32
I
years
know.
old.
Yeah, dude.
And Brandon,
there's some,
Brandon was starting to step in his dad's footsteps. I
Oh,
mean, he had some
he-
real potential.
He
that guy.
was a great martial artist.
yeah, and the
And he
Crow
could
was-
have been
yeah.
better than Bruce.
Yeah, could
You
have
know,
been,
he could have
for
been
sure.
better than his dad because he was, if you remember, he was like a year old,
Yeah.
a year and a half old,
Yeah, right,
and
right.
Bruce has him a kicking,
Yes.
up to this broom and everything.
Yes,
You know,
yes, yeah,
and yeah,
crazy.
So-
And there was like some funny business with Bruce Lee's death too, right? Is that a rumor or a
well, he was,
conspiracy? Right?
in somebody else's house, another
took-
girl's house, and
Yeah.
whatever that-
Didn't he take Tylenol or something?
he took something.
Yeah.
And if you remember,
An
he used to
aneurysm,
just,
right? They said he had
the
an
way,
aneurysm.
yeah, that he used to just, tense up and go
Right,
crazy. And they said he had an aneurysm that fucking killed him.
Wow.
You hear through the thing he had that death palm. Somebody got him, and it's crazy shit through the years.
It's always conspiracy theories.
Yeah. So I want to get to Seattle too and see his grave one day.
Yeah,
because he's the one responsible for me getting, and I'm sure millions of other
Yeah,
people
right.
also
Of course.
in the martial arts after they saw Kato in the Bruce Lee.
Bro,
and-
Rocky's
and-
probably one of the reasons I fight.
You've said
For
that.
real,
You've
for
said
real,
that
no
numerous.
bullshit.
You've said that numerous times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah, for
a lot of guys
Yeah.
watched Rocky. They
Yeah.
became fighters. Vinny Pazienza, the same
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
And his story is crazy.
I seen him. He'd post something like, One more. He
Yeah,
started
yeah,
coming
he's
back.
crazy.
Everybody's coming back though. Tyson.
Bye-bye. I was with
De La Hoya's coming back. He's
De La
fighting
Hoya's coming
Vitor.
back.
He's fighting Vitor.
Is
you know
he
that?
really?
Yeah. Vitor's the favorite too.
Hey,
He
guess
might be.
what? How about Anderson Silva? Did he do a great job?
He beat Chavez Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That's
game of
awesome,
beating. He
man.
won every round.
Yeah.
And how at the end he won by a split decision. What fight were they watching?
I know.
Every round he kicked his ass.
That's so typical fighting.
You know?
Yeah.
That night all the Chavez, law, even
Didn't
the
the older
father.
guy fought? Didn't the
The
old
father.
Man fought? He
The
fought,
father
right?
fought too.
Who did he fight? Just
He
it
fight
was like an
Hector
exhibition.
Camacho Jr.
Yeah. He won. I take it. Or how'd that
Camacho
go?
won.
Camacho beat Chavez Sr.?
Yeah. Well, no, it was an exhibition. I'm sorry.
Right,
I take that
But
back.
you said it. If it
He did beat him, and I think he won. But it was an exhibition, and it was only 4 rounds, and they wore headgear.
Oh, wow.
So
How old is Chavez Sr., though?
I think he's like 58 or something.
Yeah, that's tough to come
You
back
know?
fighting like that age.
And
Jeez.
how about Mike, 54 years old,
Yeah.
coming back
And he
against
looked-
Roy
he
Jones
actually
Jr.
He looked good.
He
to
looked
me.
great.
He did.
And now he's fighting Lennox Lewis.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Oh,
He was supposed to
shit.
fight Evander Holyfield,
Right.
but they couldn't come up with the right money. And now Holyfield is fighting the guy, McBride,
Oh, yeah.
who
I
wound
see
up
that.
beating Mike.
His last fight ever,
His
right?
last fight, yeah, Mike's last fight. And when he lost him, he says, it's time to quit.
Right.
But Mike is looking great, man. Mike went
does,
8
man.
rounds. He's back. I mean,
Yeah.
he's, you got to give him a lot of credit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, here's a guy that lost all his money. Of course, Don King, he robbed everybody.
Right.
And
I seen
he's
they
making
just-
money again.
I seen they just had like a meeting or something. Him and
Yes.
Don King,
Yeah.
right?
Imagine this. Meanwhile, he beat him up outside the Beverly Hills Hotel, years ago.
Tyson beat Don King up?
Yes.
Oh, really? Well, I fucking
Yeah, for robbing his money.
that
No, you know
doesn't-
Don King killed 2 people?
What?
Don King
Yeah.
killed 2 people.
Yeah.
Speak on it, Frankie.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
And he got a president's pardon, no less.
Yeah,
Imagine
yep.
this.
He got away.
Yeah.
with it.
I don't.
fuck
I never
outta
heard
here.
that. Who?
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
me.
He
about it.
killed. He shot somebody when he was younger, and then he beat someone to death or something.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, he was in jail for manslaughter and
Yeah.
murder and all that
yeah.
stuff, and he
Shit.
got out.
I did not know
Yeah.
that. Wow.
And when he got out of jail, he wound up promoting
yeah.
Ali and Foreman in Zaire.
Frazier, Ali Frazier.
Ali-
Ali Foreman. Oh yeah,
Ali
yeah,
Foreman.
yeah.
It was a Frazier.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did he do Did Rumble in the Jungle though too?
Yeah,
Yeah. He
that's-
did both. No, Rumble in the Jungle was Zaire.
Yeah, Zaire.
What's the one? Thrill in Manila. He did that one too. I
Oh,
think,
the Thriller
right?
Manila.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that's
yeah,
the one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Thriller Manila. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Ali was the great. Ali was the greatest.
You ever
man.
meet Ali?
I was his bodyguard.
Get out of here! What?
I was Muhammad Ali's bodyguard, Joe Frazier's bodyguard,
Get
Mike
out.
Tyson's
What?
bodyguard. I bodyguarded Bernard Hopkins,
No. shit.
Paulie Malignaggi. Who else? Bunch of guys.
No shit.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Come
Yeah,
on,
you got-
where you
you
guys
got-
been, man?
You guys,
It's on my on my Instagram. You see me with all everybody.
you guys were talking about like.
I knew a lot. I didn't know Ali.
I was
Wow.
with when Bernard fought Joe Calzaghe.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah, who retired undefeated. Joe Calzaghe.
Yeah. He's an English
In
guy.
fact,
Wow.
In fact, Bernard
Well,
Hopkins knocked him down the first round.
Yeah.
We got this easy street. And he just came back. This guy used to throw 100
Oh,
punches
man, he threw
around.
So much, man. He's
Joe
such
Calzaghe.
Such
No
a
shit.
He was
fitness
great.
fighter.
Yeah, he was great.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
His
But-
dad was his coach, right? I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. His dad
Sometimes,
was his coach.
You were just talking about Tyson's versus Jones, which was a great. I thought it was awesome. I mean, Mike Tyson looked amazing. I thought he looked better than Jones. It was definitely worth the money, worth watching.
Oh, absolutely.
And when the greats come back, everybody wants to see it, right? You all tune in. I mean, you
Absolutely.
kind of want to see
He's
that
still,
that legacy.
I mean, everybody loved Mike.
come back.
And they still love
but
Mike.
then, but then
yeah.
you have sometimes
There's
it
an aura
happens.
about him.
Sometimes it happens. I mean, obviously we're talking about boxing, but we talk about greats in the MMA world too. You had Chuck Liddell come back and fight Tito Ortiz. And I felt like he just
That should have never
stayed
happened. That
retired,
should
man.
He should stay retired.
I was watching
man,
it. Tito
because-
looked good, but Chuck looked
and
horrible.
even
and I'm a Chuck fan.
if you think about it, Bernard Hopkins at 50 years old,
Yes.
he should have never had that last fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
He got
He
hit
fought Kabulov, right?
so hard. He got
Yes.
knocked out of the ring,
That's the
and that
second
there
time,
he
right?
goes. And you got to realize Bernard's never been cut.
Yeah.
He was a great scientific boxer. Everything.
Defensive, yeah.
He was great. He's never been cut.
Yeah.
He still looks good. Never been cut. He's just speaks well. And the same with Mayweather.
Yep.
I mean, it's
His,
just good.
his come up was great, Bernard Hopkins. He started in prison. He started late too. That's why
Yeah,
he kind of fought so
absolutely.
late. And he managed himself too.
Yeah.
He managed himself.
Really? His whole career?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You ever get a conversation with Bernard, man, he's just great.
Wow.
Yeah, talk about boxing and everything else. And guys, Mike Tyson, people think he's an historian on boxing. He could tell you fighters and names and dates from the 1800s.
Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It was just great because even Frank Stallone's a big boxing historian.
Yeah.
Frank just put on, he had a picture of Floyd Mayweather. It says, I think at the time it said 18 years, 50-0. Then he put next to him a picture of Harry Gribb. It says 1 year, 45-0.
1 year?
1 year, he had 45 fights.
How long ago was that?
Undefeated.
When was Harry
Well, that
Gribb's
was
time?
1919.
Was that like bare knuckle?
No.
Well, they had
but they had
probably
like
those gloves
4-ounce
and
gloves because my father in the 30s fought with 6-ounce gloves.
Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
but Harry Gribb had 45 fights, 45-0 in 1 year.
Hey, just because I just said the word, what do you guys think of bare knuckle? It's kind of blowing up, man. The new bare knuckle.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
did you see that guy? Somebody just sent me the guy where a guy got in the guy's face. He just won.
No, that was
Hector Lombard.
Hector Lombard.
Hector Lombard. Yeah, he fought. He was a Bellator champ. Fought in UFC for a little bit.
He two-pieced him pretty good.
Dang.
And the guy went up to him again in his face. Boom, boom, boom. He
It was funny. The guy he just fought. He fought Joe Riggs.
Yes.
That's who he fought.
Yeah.
He fought Joe Riggs. Came and broke it up.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Joe Riggs has transitioned really well to bare knuckle. He's done well. over there.
But Hector beat him, but it was controversial.
No, he did. But before Hector beat him, he's had a great career over there.
No, but I'm saying, do you know what happened?
I didn't watch it.
That fight was controversial.
I saw him after. I don't know. I don't even know who won.
Yeah, that's growing up because Paulie Malignaggi fought.
Yes,
that bare knuckle fight.
He fought
Connor's fucking guy.
Lobo. That guy.
Yeah.
Did you see the first fight with him and the other guy fighting?
Oh, Jason Knight.
Their faces. They forget about it. They
Yes,
both went to the hospital for
yeah.
stitches.
I know, man. I don't know. Like, it's good, but I just put the gloves. I'll put the gloves on and do it.
But you know what? Matter for you, bro.
It's not really bare knuckle,
matter, bro. It wouldn't matter.
They're all taped up.
It's here. They just leave the knuckles out.
Right.
I think you're taped to it right here.
I don't think so. I think it's even covered.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you're taped to there like that. So, but still,
the knuckles out there.
Yeah, but I think the knuckles have to be open. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think
they're
just wrapped.
Does it? I mean, obviously, you're wearing small gloves in UFC, and it helps a little bit with cuts, right? Does it help protect from getting boxer's breaks on your hands? I mean, bare knuckle
gloves. Oh, the bare knuckle. I think with the wrap, I think you could probably hit pretty good.
And not have what they call it, a boxer's fracture.
I mean, you're
right?
probably more susceptible to it because you don't have a glove. But I think with the wrap, that helps you a lot. You could really wing them with the bare knuckle.
Yeah. Well, you have to wrap your hands. So just keep it, and they put the gauze in between them, and
I don't think they could do I don't know if they could do the gauze in between with the bare knuckle.
I don't know. I think
a lot of MMA guys going over there, man.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
There's money in it.
There is.
Yeah. How about Ben Askren? What a bum he was.
Jeez.
Oh god.
He might be a good wrestler, but he can't box for shit.
I feel like he didn't take it serious. He went in there with back
his
fat.
Forget about it.
He
threw he threw a jab like this.
Yeah.
Anybody.
I'm not knocking him because
Stevie Wonder could hit him with a right hand.
What he was good at, he was good at. He's a great wrestler, but he never really transitioned into MMA well, and he had a lot of hype behind him. I mean, Joe Rogan was like...
No. He did. He's a fucking Bellator champ, ONE FC champ.
UFC. Sorry, I should say UFC.
Yeah. But right. But using wrestling. You know what I mean?
Using wrestling. He wasn't a boxer.
Because
he couldn't box for shit.
Right.
And this dude, Jake Paul, he they got to stop calling him YouTuber. He's been training with pro boxers for 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
He's not. He's a boxer now. Everyone wants to say, "Oh, he's a YouTuber."
If you want to call him a boxer,
but him and Woodley, I don't know, man.
I'm picking Woodley. Listen,
let me tell you something.
I fucking pick wrong every fight, but I'm picking Woodley.
Askren set the UFC back 10 years because of that shit. And I think first of all, Tyrone could fight.
Tyron could.
He's gonna take it. I think he's gonna take it serious.
He could crack. Tyron could crack. He's a super athlete.
Yeah. He's
But
got to
man, I
knock this
don't know.
guy
I
Dana,
out.
feel like
Dana,
this dude's
Dana
got
didn't
something-
have anything good to say about him.
I
though.
know.
Dana was like, "Yo,
Well,
this guy hasn't won a fight in 3 years."
He's
Dana,
not-
Dana's saying he hasn't won a fight. He hasn't won. He lost his last 4 fights.
Yeah.
He goes, and something he's
He's
good,
good
at,
at.
and then now he's in a box.
Yeah,
He's like, how can you promote that fight?
Right,
That's
right.
Dana just being a promoter
being
and
Dana,
you know,
yeah,
not
yeah,
trying to promote
yeah.
someone else's shit.
Right. He's good at it.
Yeah.
Dana
Forget
is
about
really fucking good at what he does. He is.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
him or hate him, he's really good at what he does.
Absolutely.
He is.
Absolutely. Look what they, back in the day
Yeah.
when Art Davie actually started
Yeah,
that
right.
with
Rodrigo, right?
and with the Gracies and also John Milius, the director, he designed the cage. He's the one who did Conan the Barbarian and all that stuff.
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
he's a director,
Oh, really?
and he designed and he was training with the Gracies.
The Octagon.
The Octagon. He designed
Wow.
that. And Art Davie's the one who really started, Tough
Yeah,
Man
yeah,
contest and
yeah.
started with the UFC also, and,
Yeah.
and also the Gracies. But they sold it for I think $1 million for back in the day.
Yeah, I think Dana and Lorenzo, I think they bought it for $2 million.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was that much.
Getting
Maybe
on
even less,
Fox, right? It was
But,
their, that was
go
their,
figure.
That was
There's-
their kind of breakout. No.
No, I think to me their breakout was Ultimate Fighter show.
Ultimate.
That's what I'm saying,
Absolutely.
wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Spike. I said Fox.
Yeah,
I meant
yeah,
Spike.
Yeah.
Forrest Griffin
Forrest
versus
Griffin.
Stephen Bonner.
that's when
Stephen
it
Bonner.
set-
That started it.
That put
That
them on the map. Yeah,
that
yeah,
put them on the map.
Yeah.
yeah.
But his Dana was teaching boxing at the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
because he was from Boston,
Right,
and he was teaching for Jesus,
right.
And then
right.
they said, we're going to buy this company. We want to make you the president.
Right, yeah.
Go figure that,
Yeah.
And
right?
Yeah.
He's done
I mean,
well
he's
with it, man.
definitely Dana, with the Lorenzo's help, but Dana's the guy. I mean, Dana's the guy.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And then
And,
they
he's
sell it for
passionate about it.
$4
Dude,
billion.
Talk about that investment.
Yeah, he's passionate.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, you know now.
Yeah.
Hey, he's great. Dana's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And when the crazy thing about it, when it first started, and they took over, I used to get 10 ringside seats.
Oh yeah.
Dana would give me 10 ringside
10?
seats. 10.
Fuck.
10.
Fuck.
So then, what happened was once it started getting, because I brought Pamela Anderson there, I brought a lot of people there, and then everybody else saw the stars there. Then the Kevin James started going, and the Michael Clark Duncans,
Yeah.
and the Hiltons. Everybody started going. It was a big thing to be at.
Yeah.
So after a while, a year later, after they started making money, a couple of years later, then I got 5 front row seats and like 5 fifth row seats. Then it got bigger and bigger. Everybody started going. Then I had 5 front row seats.
That's just capitalism.
And then it went
at
down to
work.
2
Yeah.
front row seats.
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute, man.
Yeah,
I says, Dana, I grabbed him. I said, hey, you used to give me 10 front row seats. He goes, Chuck, when it first started, I could have gave you 100 front row seats. I always remember telling me that. So he still gives me my 2 front row
There you
seats if
go.
I want.
There you go.
So, but I haven't been at one in a long time because it's COVID.
Oh, COVID, right?
Yeah.
Were
Screwed
you
everything.
were at the one where in New York though, right? That
Oh,
Trump went to.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. That was when Nate Diaz, the bad
Nate
motherfucker,
and,
was,
Masvidal. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
which I don't think they should have stopped that fight
No.
because
Nate's
Nate-
a warrior, bro.
Nate
That
comes
guy
on, he
won't
comes on
Nate,
at the
stop.
end.
yeah, absolutely.
He won't stop.
And you know what? I got me so mad this last fight he had.
Oh, with Leon Edwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing. Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's coming out. He's being a showboat. He's back and
I
forth,
know.
running, doing
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
doing that, instead of going right after the guy.
Right.
Meanwhile, he loses 4 rounds. They tell him, you need a knockout to win.
Yeah.
In the 5th
almost
round, he
does
went
it,
out there, almost knocked him out.
Yeah.
Another
And-
10
but-
seconds, he would have knocked him out.
But then he cracks him. Then he's pointing at him.
Yeah.
Fuck, point, get
That's
him.
another- that's
Get
another
him.
thing. That's
that
another thing,
fucking
yeah.
Stockton style.
He's over there.
Well,
the guy's hurt, and he's pointing at him
Yeah.
instead of going
But he
for the
does
kill.
that. He does that every fight though, with everybody.
Yeah, but you know what?
Everybody.
I've never seen him fight the way he did that night.
Yeah.
I never see him doing this, walk back
Yeah,
and forth in the
nah,
ring.
yeah.
I have never seen that. I always saw him go straight ahead.
Yeah, just
Like
pop,
Nick,
pop,
like
pop,
his
pop,
brother,
pop, pop.
and they just
Yeah.
pop and they
Right,
start
right,
because they're
right.
good boxers.
Yeah, they got
Both of
volume,
them.
volume,
Both of
man.
them.
Yeah.
Volume
They're
brings
both
them.
badass.
You can't kill him though. You can't submit him. I mean, every time you watch either of those brothers, I mean, you know it's going to be an amazing fight because literally they
Was-
never get submitted, they never get fucking knocked
And-
out, and they just always are pressuring.
And that's the
Always.
fight they should make. It's a trilogy with him and Conor.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
because
yeah.
I
Well,
thought the second
it's gonna
fight
happen.
that Nate also won.
Yeah.
But they gave it to
Yeah.
Conor.
A lot of people agree with you there. Yeah.
But it was a great fight, and with That first one when he choked him out. Come on, man.
Yeah. Stand up,
Yo,
flexing.
I was working that fight as an analyst. That was great.
Yeah.
That was
His
great.
face is bleeding.
And
like
as
a
soon as he
mother.
comes out, he goes, "Not surprised,
Yeah,
motherfucker."
motherfucker.
Amazing. The shit he says is great.
Yeah,
He is,
it was
man.
great. They're both.
I'll tell
They
you,
both.
even
Everybody's on steroids.
even with that loss though, his stock went up.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But you know, another 10 seconds, he would have fucking knocked him out.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But they were saying you're losing. Stop fucking around. Stop
Right.
playing games. And he hurt him bad, and he's pointing at him
Yeah.
instead of going after him for the kill.
Right.
It's just that Diaz style.
Yeah.
But
That's
still,
great.
like, I don't watch every UFC fight now. I used to. Not every weekend. You know,
Not me
every
neither,
weekend's
me
on. I
neither.
don't
Yeah,
watch them
yeah,
all.
yeah.
But the good ones I
He's a
watch.
big highlight
guy.
I
Absolutely.
will
Big highlight
never not watch a Diaz fight because it's
Oh.
you're going to be entertained from beginning to end.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I don't think, like I said, at the Garden that night, they should never stop that fight.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's a bleeder. That's what he does.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more he bleeds, the
Right.
crazier he gets.
You ever had a? I mean, you're a bleeder. You ever had a fight stop for a cut? Never.
Yeah, it
I,
was,
I
yeah,
have some cuts, but never too bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he's,
Yeah.
come on, he bleeds
He
in a
was good.
dressing
It
room.
wasn't.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, it was in a bad spot, but it wasn't even bleeding really.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I think you gotta let it go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought he was winning it. Tell you the truth. And then they stopped the fight and they made him.
What's going on? Do you know? I think it has to do with money, but I don't know. You have more insight than me. Nagano is giving up his belt. Basically, he's going to be Derek Lewis versus.
He's not giving up his belt. He couldn't fight in August.
Why?
I guess. I have no idea.
Well, I saw him talking about bitching about not making the same money as YouTube guys, and he wanted so much money to.
Right, but well, this is at least what I heard. He couldn't. They want him to fight in. They need someone for August 7th. He couldn't do that. He said I could fight in September. So they said we're gonna make an interim.
Injury? I mean, usually they'll wait
No.
that long. That's not a long wait.
Is that the
Yeah, I
guy
don't
who
know.
beat
For someone that's-
Miocic? Is
For
that the
someone
guy?
Yeah,
that's
Frank
that,
Ngannou,
he
yeah,
lost
heavyweight
once
champ
to
now.
Miocic, and then he just knocked him out.
Right,
but,
right.
But he's just a fucking savage. He's
dude,
nobody
he's-
nobody hits with this guy's power. But he's the belt holder, and now they're going to put it up for an interim title, and I don't really
really?
understand why. What?
Yeah.
Wait, wanted him to fight in August, and he said he wasn't ready until September. That's not a big gap, bro.
I
It's
know.
not a big gap at all.
It's a month.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make sense for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
you don't think it has anything to do with money?
I'm sure.
It's gotta, it's
but
gotta.
if I don't know if it does. If he said he'd fight, if he's saying he wouldn't fight a month or he'll fight a month later, is it really about
They
money
would
or
wait a month.
Yeah,
I would think.
For
absolutely.
Nagano, they would wait.
not? Yeah.
It's got to have to do with money. It has to. He's got to want to get paid.
You know what? This whole thing boils down to money, and that's
Oh,
why
everything does.
this whole boxing's
That's why but at least MMA.
dead,
Right.
and that's why everybody's coming out. All these old guys
Yeah.
are training and fighting again
Yeah.
in their 50s.
Right.
Right.
Evander Holyfield's 58 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's fighting.
But I mean, look, if they look like Tyson did, I'll tune in. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Mike looks great. Mike looks
he
great.
looked
He was-
great, man.
I was there at training camp for
Leading
4
up
months.
to that fight, he looked great.
With
Out
him.
there, yeah.
And he was looking, every day was better and better. And, that move and sidestep. And because his greatest punches, body, come right up with the same punch.
Yeah.
You know?
Nobody does it like him. Nobody.
He was great. He's great. And he's in shape again, and he looks good.
Yep.
I mean, he ballooned up to almost
did,
300
Yes,
pounds.
he did.
When he was
was-
Hangover, when he did the Hangover, he
Yes.
was a big boy. Yeah.
So he lost a bunch of weight, and he came back, and he got in shape, and he went 8 rounds to prove that he could do the 8.
Yeah.
And he could have went 10 or 12 if he had
Yeah,
to.
I think he could have.
was-
In his younger days, he couldn't do it because he always got tired. Because he
Yeah.
always knocked somebody out.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's how, if you remember, George Foreman lost the rope-a-dope to Ali.
Yeah.
He waited till he got tired hitting him, and he's so tired he couldn't even lift his hands no more, and boom.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he knocks him out.
Yeah.
That's why Ali was the greatest heavyweight ever, man. I don't care who they say.
Yeah. No, I would agree.
But he was it. And the work for him was amazing.
I can't believe you worked for him. That's crazy.
I went.
What years would that have been?
I went in 1974. I went
wasn't
to
even born yet, folks.
Deer Lake, Pennsylvania, to his training camp.
Yes. Who bought that?
I-
Somebody just bought. Corey Anderson was
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
Who? Somebody famous
His
bought
man-
it.
And
Somebody famous bought him.
Somebody famous bought the camp and
Yes.
like completely like revamped
Redid
it.
it, yeah.
Now it's set up as just a place
Yeah.
for people to go visit.
yeah,
But,
and I went there. I went with my wife and my daughter, and because I was a big fan. I even had my shirt on, and he saw me. He looked. He said, "You're Rocky, man. You're Rocky." So, and at the end, we waited till everybody left because a lot of people there. We were in his gym. He's training, and he brought me, my wife, and my daughter into his house.
It was just a cabin, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a cabin.
Just a
Yeah,
basic
it was
cabin.
all. It was all log cabins.
Yeah.
It was all log cabins. He had these big rocks, everybody's name on it.
Yeah.
You know, Jersey Joe Walcott, Rock Marciano, Rock, and Jack Dempsey, and all that. It was just great. It was beautiful.
Amazing.
But he brought me into his house, into his log cabin, because that's what it was. It was all cabins.
Yeah.
And he just took the time to talk to me and my wife, and we took pictures.
That's awesome.
And Polaroids back in the day, because you know, just imagine if you had a cell phone back then.
Can you imagine?
But they were, Polaroids, and if you remember, there was like a 2-inch bottom, a strip where you used to be able to
write some stuff.
sign it.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that.
That's
You
so
said, imagine if you had cell phones back then. There's an infamous picture. I believe it's a Tyson fight. I could be wrong, but early on in his career. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You could pull it up. Where they say, you know, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but they say, do you believe time travel is real? There's a guy in the background with a fucking cell phone.
It looks like a cell phone.
Way before cell phones came
like
out,
this dude's
taking a
filming.
picture.
Yeah,
It looks
crazy.
like it. I mean, listen, it obviously could be Photoshop.
Yeah,
but
it's gotta be.
Yeah. Come on.
just because
I remember when
just
it first-
because you said,
look,
imagine having a cell phone back then.
I remember walking around with a Motorola when it was a battery pack with the wire, and you hang with a regular phone at
like
the
a
end,
briefcase.
and the antenna had a magnet. You put it on top of the car, and I'm walking around, and I thought I was the shit walking down New York City with this big battery pack, talking on the phone. You know, and now you know they have watches. Went to California, and the guy's walking down the street talking to his watch. That they had in 1930s, Dick Tracy. Remember that?
Dick Tracy, you're right.
He was talking to his watch, and this guy's talking to the watch. I'm saying, this guy's talking to himself. Then I realized his fucking phone is a watch.
Yeah, technology's crazy, man.
I'm saying, what the fuck? You know, what are we looking at now?
I think he's trying to pull up that picture of the guy on the cell phone, which I'm
Nah,
sure.
come on, it's Photoshop.
Yeah,
This guy was on a phone.
It's definitely Photoshop.
Because back in the day, I thought those batteries this big with a handle. With the wire, and I'm walking like this.
Is like, this looks like an iPhone. This guy's
I know. You know what I'm talking about, though. It's like a famous picture.
Yeah, they do a lot of shit like that now, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, what they do now with these phones? But you know what? I still don't even know how to use this. My phone rings, I answer it.
That's it.
But I do Instagram a lot. I learned how to do that.
Yeah.
But all the other things, this is the one with the pen. That you push it up.
Stylus,
I've never even took that out. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. That's too much. That's great.
A small world.
Yeah, I don't have a computer at home. Nothing. I do everything on my phone.
Yeah, you don't need. I
know
never go.
That is a computer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Emails, all that stuff.
Yeah, I get emails on it because back and forth, and you know we don't talk to each other, on the phone in Italy. So they've been emailing me back and forth and even texting me.
Yeah.
And that's how I got this whole thing. So
Awesome.
tomorrow
How long
I
are you going
leave.
over for?
10 days.
Oh, wow. Very good, yeah.
I actually went for 7 days, but I'm 3 days at the show, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And I said I only had 2 days to walk around. I mean, like I said, I want to go to the Coliseum.
Yeah.
See where Bruce Lee fought, Chuck Norris. And I said, you know what? I'll just stay 10 days.
That's awesome. Enjoy. Going by yourself? Or?
Yeah, I'm going by myself,
Awesome, man. Enjoy it.
So it's great about it. I haven't been able to go to Canada for years. And the Hells Angels aren't allowed to come here. As a band. They can't come here. I couldn't go there because I was a member of the club, and they still held it against me. I can't go there. So a dear friend for years, I haven't seen him in 15 years, he's meeting me in Rome tomorrow.
Oh, that's great, man.
Because he can't go to New York, in the United States, and I can't go to Canada. So we're meeting in Rome.
Yeah.
That's wild, huh?
So we got by anyway, guys.
Right.
Beat them at their own game.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm saying this, so they won't let me off the plane. Oh, really? Well, guess what?
TSA is going to pay a little
Oh, there's
extra.
Mike. See, Mike always had that peekaboo style.
Yeah, he did.
The custom model.
You can't blow
like
that
Floyd
up,
Patterson. Oh, you're saying the guy's there?
No, the guy right there in the background,
Yeah,
that thing.
That thing's supposed to be a cell
supposed
phone.
to be a cell phone, but obviously.
What fight is this? You remember?
1995.
Yeah, that. I don't know.
No, it doesn't. Now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't look anything like a cell phone.
Yeah.
Looks like the guy's holding. Looks like the
Well,
guy's,
when they start come out with stuff, I don't even know.
Yeah.
It was 95. They had cell phones.
Well, yeah, but they
but
had.
not that.
They were like the
modern
ones you're
looking,
talking
yeah,
about,
yeah,
like
yeah.
with the briefcase and all that.
Big
you know?
antennas and.
I don't think a smartphone came out till 2007, right?
Camera phones in 1995.
Yeah, no.
What was it?
There were no camera phones back
I thought the picture was a flash going off on like a smartphone. That's what I thought about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway,
But that's Mike. He was always great, man.
Yeah, man.
Always
dangerous.
dangerous, was right. I was at Atlantic City when he knocked Spinks out in 91 seconds.
Damn. That was nuts.
Yeah,
That
the
was
crazy thing about his
86.
fights before, half the people got there, it was over.
Yeah.
Seconds.
I'll never
At the front
forget
run.
going with my father and a bunch of his buddies across the street, watch Tyson fight. They're all hyped up. He goes out there. It might have been that fight. Cleans this dude in fucking minute and a half.
Headed home.
They're all like, "Damn!" They're all so pissed off.
Well, imagine the people, all those thousands.
Yeah,
Well, now it's crazy. I think, if I'm not mistaken, some of the UFC fights went for 10,000 first row and shit.
Oh yeah. Now that's the hot ticket probably now.
Yeah.
Compared to boxing.
Yeah.
UFCs.
Oh, there's no boxing's
A
dead.
fight, yeah.
Back in the day, I probably would say the 70s and 80s
Probably the heyday. Yeah.
were great for when you had Frazier and Ali and George Foreman and Chuvalo. Chuvalo was one tough son of a bitch from Canada.
Yeah,
he
I got a
fought
signed glove
everybody.
by- I got a signed glove by him.
He
actually.
fought everybody and never knocked down.
No shit.
Never knocked down off his feet.
Wow.
And didn't he knock down Ali, or was that
That was Henry Cooper back in the day,
No,
and
no.
that was Chuck Wepner.
Wepner.
Yeah, but you know
They
what?
Really, they tripped.
If you
right?
think
Yeah.
about it, if you go back, and I think it was like on Time Magazine or something, Chuck was actually stepping on Ali's foot.
Yeah, there's a
yeah,
picture
that's
of it,
what
right?
they
Yes,
Yeah.
they had a picture.
Yes.
So when he hit him, he couldn't go. No, he was off balance. He fell backwards.
Yes.
So you didn't really knock him down.
yeah.
But that's the fight that Sylvester Stallone was at,
Right.
where he got the vision
idea
for
Yeah.
Rocky,
yeah.
the underdog fighting the champion.
Yeah.
And that's where he got.
Yeah.
And that's why
I feel like boxers of old also they had the personality to go along with what they did in the ring too. You don't really see that as much anymore.
Oh, back in the day, you had so many great fighters. I mean, they were all, they were Italian, Jews,
There'll
Irish,
never
black.
be another
Everybody
Muhammad
was
Ali
a
ever.
fu-
What he
never,
did
never.
outside of the ring was almost as amazing as what he did inside the ring. The gift of
Yes.
gab that he had and the way he could talk and hype a fight was just you don't see it anymore. You don't see it with the same amount of believability. There's guys that do it and trash talk, but they're not on his level. You know.
And you know what? If you go back to his early days, he was the original rapper.
Oh yeah. You're
Ali.
right. You're right.
Really?
Right.
Yes.
Oh, he
With all the sayings, you know?
True, he did. Yeah, as he was shit talking. Yeah, he was rhyming. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
He's I'm so fast I make medicine. I mean, I'm so fast I'm in bed before the lights go out.
Yeah.
I'm so bad I make medicine sick.
Yeah.
He just the greatest lines, man. He was just great, and the work for him, I was just wow.
That'd be amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing, and he was just the greatest, man.
He really was.
And just a shame that he had the Parkinson at the end,
Yeah.
and just so. I remember at the Olympics, he was just shaking so
that
much.
was
and
96.
yeah.
96.
But he was a guy who you couldn't. There was one picture where they had the zipper over his mouth because he wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
And here he could
And then
hardly
he couldn't
talk at the
talk,
end, and
yeah.
it was
Crazy.
just it was a shame.
Now,
But you know what?
isn't his daughter undefeated?
She was. Yeah. Right.
Oh, she got beat?
was.
I thought
Layla?
she-
Yeah,
Layla.
Layla. Yeah. So he was great, and I even went to the crazy thing about that. They had Frazier and Ali in Pennsylvania when Layla fought Joe's daughter.
Layla fought Joe's daughter?
I didn't know that.
And it
Get
says Ali Frazier.
Holy cat.
Our
No
back.
way.
They used that slogan,
Wow.
Ali Frazier,
That's amazing.
because it was her, Jacqueline Frazier and Layla Ali.
Wow. I
So
didn't
they
know
said
that.
Ali
I
Frazier.
never knew Frazier had a daughter that fought. I mean, obviously.
Oh,
Ali- I didn't know
yeah.
that. Wow.
Yeah. And it was Frazier Ali again.
Did you know that Frazier had a
No,
daughter?
I
that
didn't.
fought? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Look
I
it
knew-
up.
I knew-
Look it up.
I knew Layla was talking about. I mean, she was on a boxing show and they brought up like her fighting Clarissa Shields.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, hell, she ain't going back to fight Clarissa Shields."
Yeah, I know.
That girl's tough. She's fought MMA now. That girl.
Yeah, I
Good
see
shit.
that.
Oh, yeah?
I see that. Yeah.
She's a 2-time man. I don't know how
But
many
when they
times world
fought,
champ, gold
it was
She
medalist.
just had a recent
When they-
fight, didn't she?
Yeah,
when they
she
fought,
won.
they fought in Pennsylvania, and they billed it as Ali Frazier.
Oh, that's
That's-
fucking
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Did it have a big draw?
Yeah, a lot of people because Ali and Frazier were
Who
there.
won? Who won? Obviously,
Ali.
Ali's daughter
Yeah,
because she's
yeah,
undefeated,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It was great.
Layla. Wow.
Yeah, they brought that back. Ali and Frazier back.
That's crazy.
So
It's a good way to hype it.
yes, and I remember that was a long time ago. But there's a lot of great fighters came out of
Yeah.
Philly.
Oh yeah.
A lot of great fighters came out of Philly.
Think we get a Edgar Maynard for?
For what? For what?
I'm just saying.
For what?
It was amazing fights, man. Try to.
I finished that fight. I'm good.
You're still fighting?
Oh yeah, I'm still fighting. Yeah, I'll probably fight for the end of the year's over.
Yeah.
That's what I'm shooting for. Still at it. I'm not ready to grow up yet.
Yo, listen, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna put.
Here we go.
I'm gonna put Frankie on the spot. Call him out a little bit. Not call him out, but I didn't know anything about this. Renee posted a post. I don't know, a couple days ago or something. I hear people on Instagram are calling my husband fat. Who this fucking guy couldn't gain a pound if he wanted to, or something along those lines. Who the fuck is calling you fat, bro?
And I took a picture with Ali.
You're fat. You look like you're in
Yeah, I
training.
know.
You're
I know,
in shape,
I know.
man. What are you
Who's
calling?
calling you fat?
I took a picture with Ali. I do look a little chunky in it for me. I'm not, but I mean.
And
so,
people
dude,
ripped on you?
Yeah,
A lot of people?
like 15.
Really?
Frankie's letting himself go.
Wait. Were you reading the comments? Because you said you post and go, so was Renee reading them?
This is Twitter. It's Twitter. So
Twitter.
yeah. I read it. I laughed at him. I didn't say nothing.
Well, that's
I don't
cool.
I don't respond. I don't
Renee,
respond.
Renee had your back anyway.
I was like, I do look a little chubby.
That's like I says. Guys like Bernard Hopkins always stayed in fighting shape.
Yeah.
Mayweather always stayed in fighting shape.
Yeah.
Toro used to balloon up to 180 pounds on the street,
No shit.
and he used to have to lose 40 pounds
I can never
in
do
Is it
training
crazy
camp.
that he could be that good and have, not have the mindset to stay in shape and like let himself
How
go
about
like that?
back in the day? Roberto Duran used to same thing. 200 pounds he used to go up to
Crazy.
and lose
But
50 pounds to fight.
And still be that good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Yeah.
making work for yourself.
Yeah,
Imagine.
yeah. Your body can only take so much.
Imagine if he was always in the zone. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how much better they could get, but
Yeah.
they would probably be better.
Be better, definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
Like it says, Bernard was always in fighting shape.
Right.
Mayweather's always in fighting shape.
Yeah, you could tell.
You know?
You could tell.
Yeah.
That's why
So-
I mean, even at 50 years old, even that fight was a little shitty, but
Ray Boom Boom Mancini
he was
did
great.
the interview also
Yeah.
for Toro Gatti.
Oh man, he was
And
great. He's great.
He's in fighting shape.
Yeah.
He still looks great. Still.
Yeah. Oh,
Still.
man, he's one of my favorites, right?
Yeah.
Still.
I spoke to him a couple.
He
of
was a
cases.
tough.
Yeah.
I mean, guys like, Boom Boom Mancini was tough. Vinny Pazienza.
Yeah.
Mickey Ward.
You know who's a guy? Not a actually.
A Toro.
Actually, I take that back. I think he had one MMA fight, but fucking Herschel Walker, bro.
He has a couple of MMA.
Does
fights,
he?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a football guy, but you talk about a guy that stays in shape, bro. That dude is shredded, and he's probably,
Yeah.
mid-50s?
Now, yeah, for sure.
He's fucking
He was.
shredded.
When he came back and fought, he was shredded.
Yeah.
I think he said he's doing like 1,000 push-ups a day. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm not that bad out of shape.
No, you look good.
And
man.
I'm 68.
No,
Yeah.
brother, you're doing all right,
So-
man. You're doing all right.
Yeah.
I feel good. A couple pounds.
You work out a lot. You must.
No, I don't. I
You
actually,
look like you do.
when I went to visit my friend Kevin, he got me back in the gym in Florida.
All right.
But I was there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And guess what?
He left.
I haven't been in the
yeah.
gym. I came home. Forget about
Wait a
it.
minute. Wait, you just came over yesterday, didn't you?
No, I had to wait online for my passport.
Oh, right.
A month
right,
ago,
right.
though, I was
Yeah,
out there
yeah,
with
yeah,
him.
yeah,
I
okay,
stayed there
okay.
for 2 weeks, and we
Okay.
went to the gym every day.
Yeah.
He got me back in the gym. And it
Yeah.
felt good. I felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the first couple of days, I
Sore as shit.
too much weight.
Yeah.
I tried to overdo it, and the next day I couldn't move. I said, holy shit.
It's the way it always is, though. Yeah.
And even now, if I go to roll, I haven't rolled in.
Yeah.
Forget about
But I
it.
feel like as a guy that
I got a baby. My toe. I said I broke 2 toes. So I still can't roll yet.
I feel like if you're not getting sore, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You should be. You should be sore because your
Man,
muscle
I tell you,
your muscle fibers are tearing, right, when you're growing, right? So
yes, but I was doing so much chest with my guy, but I couldn't get sore.
really,
Doing
Really?
volume, like crazy
Yeah.
volume.
really, wow.
See, but I realized, like I said, I got 10 years as a blue belt, man. But I used to roll with black belts and everything. But but then again, I use my other, my other tricks of the
martial
trade.
arts, yeah, for sure, right?
Because I use a lot of wrist locks and everything that you're
yeah.
really not supposed to, but I do it.
Cow hoofs. Cow hoofs.
Yeah. So if you go try and get a guy instead of Americana, I would turn the wrist this way and just come underneath and bam, boom. You'll bend the wrist. There's a lot of wrist locks in
What's the one
street.
you would throw? You used to throw one on me once in a while. Can opener, I think that is, where you fucking pull. Isn't it where you
Your
pull
leg, with the one leg in?
No. What's the one where you grab the back of the head when you're in the full?
Oh yeah.
And you just pull the fucking head forward. You choke yourself out.
Yeah.
Can opener, is it?
A can opener. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to do that when I was just rolling around with people. They say, you can't do that. That's what I mean. You tapped, didn't you? It works. And instead of even an arm bar, because you're supposed to have the thumb up, I would take it and I would bend the wrist. Bam.
Yeah.
And just that hurts. Just the wrist alone. So instead of getting Americana, I would just get the guy in that position and bend that wrist.
That probably works for like body guarding and shit, right? Just
Oh,
grab
absolutely,
someone's
yeah.
wrist.
That's because you couldn't do a lot of things, so I would use wrist locks and everything just to walk them out.
Right.
Because get that wrist like that, and Cody Gayesh, we call it, and you walk them out. Once your hands there, and I would have a guy that way, and I said, punch me in the face, and I would put more pressure. No, let go. So, because you don't want to make a big scene, so I'd get him a lot of wrist locks and finger locks and things like that.
Walk them out.
And walk them right out.
That's cool.
Be surprised. You crank down on somebody's wrist, and they'll do anything you want, man.
Oh yeah.
Because that things don't go that way.
Right.
It goes a certain way, and that's it.
Right.
So I use a lot of wrist locks.
What was the line from Roadhouse? Be nice until it's time not to be nice.
So nice. Well, what if somebody calls my mother a whore? Well, is she?
Yes.
Look at that. That's another guy.
That was a great
died.
fucking movie. Yeah,
Died,
sad, man.
I
Died so young, man. A great. And he did so many movies, Roadhouse and Ghost.
Ghost.
And, Patrick Swayze, he just died so young.
Next to Kin, you ever see that one?
Next to
Yeah.
Kin, where he defended his family's honor. Yeah, it's a fucking great movie.
But he did so many great movies,
and he
man.
disintegrated towards the end. You'd see those pictures, and you'd stand in the grocery line. They'd have a picture of him on fucking National Enquirer, and you break your fucking heart.
Himself.
He was such a fucking good looking. Bro, you remember when he did Saturday Night Live, did the Chippendale skit with fucking Chris Farley? Fucking hysterical, bro. That was one of the best skits ever.
Yeah, he was a good guy. Like I said, look at The Outsiders. How many guys became superstars on that?
Yeah.
That one's
Thomas C. Howell, Tom Cruise.
Yep.
Patrick Swayze.
Yes.
Ralph Macchio.
Macchio.
Yes.
I mean, everybody became a superstar.
Was
and
super
Macchio's
young,
now is on that
killing it with
Cobra Kai.
Killing it.
Dude. That's a great
Absolutely
show.
killing it.
Hey,
It
you
is
know what?
good.
I says, these guys are going to ruin this thing.
Yeah.
I watched it.
It's actually good.
It's great.
It's
I had to
actually
kill. I watched every episode.
It's
I
actually
says,
good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
actually
great.
good.
It's great,
It
man.
takes a minute because it's such that 80s vibe. It's like it's not what you're used to.
I
but
love
then-
that, though.
But
That's
then
what I like
you
about
sort
it,
of fall right back into it,
And I like how they're making it like the kid, like, stop being a wuss, stop being a pussy. Like, it's not political correctness.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's- I'm sick of that shit.
Hey,
They
brought
draw,
Martin Cove
they draw a
back.
huge dick on his
Yeah,
face on the
yeah.
fucking billboard.
They brought everybody back. Martin Cove's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the what's his name? Miyagi passed away. Right?
Yeah, he died. He died. But even his crew, all the young guys, they brought all those guys back.
Yeah.
When they were riding the dirt bikes, he brought everybody back, even his mother back in the day.
Yeah.
Macho brought his mother back.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Shue, is that right?
Yeah.
She came on as. It's fucking great.
It's great.
My
It
kids
is
are
great.
into it.
Everybody, it's a great show, man. Great. I saw they just got to go and ruin it. They're doing this, and I
They
watched
really
it.
didn't. They really didn't.
And it gets you.
You know, it
hooked
started
into
out
it.
on YouTube. It was a YouTube show, like 20-minute episodes. The first
Nobody
couple.
ever even knew it.
Yeah.
Once it went on, I think it's Netflix, right?
Netflix, yeah.
Everybody started watching it.
Yeah, it's great.
It was on YouTube. Nobody even
I don't
watched
think
it.
there was a better era for movies than the 80s. I really don't. It's just fucking great movie. You disagree?
No, 90s are pretty good. Some good ones.
Well, all right.
I watch movies from the 30s and 40s, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm a big, into westerns and all.
Oh yeah.
You know,
spaghetti
and
westerns.
John Wayne did a movie called Angel and the Bad Man, and I watched that. Robin Hood back in, Errol Flynn was one of his first movies. That was great. Those guys were great actors,
About Clint
man.
Eastwood and the Clint Eastwood.
Oh.
What's the Clint Eastwood movie? The best where he has street fights with the monkey. He got the orangutan with him. You know what I'm talking about?
Fuck yeah! What the fuck is that?
He's just like he goes around and has street fights with people for like money. I guess.
God,
Yeah.
I got
Right
the
turn,
name.
Clyde.
Yes,
Yeah.
and punches. Yeah,
And how about
and the old ladies in it?
Yeah.
Shit, the grandma. What the fuck is the name of that?
Here we go
I
again.
can't think of it.
Yeah.
There we go again. We keep thinking. There's a fight right there.
Yeah. Frazier and Ali.
Frazier Ali. So,
I can't
Yeah,
think of it.
what was his name?
I know the movie you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
yeah,
I
he
want to
kept
say
saying,
Smokey and the Bandit, but that's
no,
not it,
that's
obviously.
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, something.
Every which way.
But loose.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. That's it.
That's a great
Yes.
flick, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He was that. And how about William Smith? The guy who we fought.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
all
yeah,
jacked
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Remember,
yeah,
he
yeah.
also did CC and Company
Yes.
back in the day
Yes.
with Joe Namath.
Wow.
He was all jacked up.
Yeah.
And he used to do a TV series back in the day when he was really young, called Laredo, and he was on that. He was all the big
Juiced up.
muscle back
Yeah.
back guy back in the day. He was really
Remember
William Smith. His name
Bolo
was.
Young from
yeah.
Bolo,
Bloodsport?
yeah.
Remember
yeah.
how big he was? I saw a
him
picture
and
of
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
He was a lot of Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a picture of him recently. He's a lot smaller, but he still looks like he's in good shape, you know?
Yeah. But he
And
was
then
in some-
go talking about the westerns on TV, Rawhide with
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
Rawhide, yeah, great. Great.
And if you ever watched the early Gunsmoke,
I used to watch Lone Ranger when I was a
Burt
kid.
Reynolds was the blacksmith.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
No shit.
after old Gunsmoke things. It was great.
Wow.
I used to watch Bonanza. I used to,
Yeah.
and back in the day, I Love Lucy and the Honeymooners.
Yeah.
Come on, that was great.
Classics.
I feel like I used to
You don't
watch
see
I
that
Love
no
Lucy
more.
back in the day with like my grandmother or something, you know?
And I remember when I was a little kid, I used to go home at Saturday, and right after American Bandstand, Superman came on. We're talking.
with George Reeves.
Forget about
right,
George
right?
Reeves. Yeah. George Reeves. Yeah.
That was good. Didn't he get shot too or something? What happened with that? That was something weird with that.
Yeah. They said he killed himself, but they were trying to say that he was banging somebody's wife and
wow.
had him killed.
Now, if you want to commit suicide, you just got to be an outspoken conservative, and you suddenly end up dead.
Yeah. What's his name got killed in prison there? What's his name died? Epstein.
Well, Epstein,
Yeah.
you see McAfee?
Yeah,
John
that
McAfee?
just happened. Yeah,
Yeah. You know who he is, John McAfee?
No.
He's
he's the original, basically the guy that started
McAfee security system for computers. He's
right.
like- he ran for president. He's like a big conservative figure, a libertarian, I think. And he's there's you got to watch this documentary. It was like Get the Gringo or something.
No,
or something.
the life he lived, man. What was the island he was on?
Belize.
Belize. Oh,
which
my
is
God.
Central America.
This guy.
But
lived-
he literally went there and he bought the police off. Supposedly his neighbor died. They think he might have killed. It's crazy shit. But literally, what happens? Through this whole documentary, they're interviewing young girls, and they make it seem like this guy was taking advantage of these young girls.
Right.
Sexually, whatever. Then at the end, they ask every single girl what he was into. What he used to do is, this is fucking disgusting. This is
probably
disgusting.
like 8 girls.
This is disgusting. He would put them in a basket.
No, hammock.
Hammock basket, same shit. Hammock, cut a hole out, and they would shit in his mouth.
Get the
Yes.
fuck out of here.
All of them
Come
said
on.
this.
Get
All of them
out
said
of
this.
here.
I swear to God, I was like, "Holy shit!"
They're giggling.
Oh,
and
exactly.
laughing.
Holy shit.
For real.
Exactly. Come on, stop.
This guy's nuts.
Come
though.
on, man.
But he just got. But anyway, he was just in a prison in Spain, and he was supposed to about to get extradited to the U.S.
Yeah.
And He committed suicide, and he literally put so many posts out like, if I get if I
Get
commit
Epstein.
suicide, if I get Epstein, it wasn't me. I live a good life. I'm having fun in here. This and that. Yeah. Crazy shit.
Well, he shit in the warden's daughter's mouth. That was it. Come on, I don't believe that. That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Wild.
Wilder's
Guy
right.
should have died of pink eye, but he got cat.
Wilder's right, man. But back, like I says, I always watch all these old movies, and it's crazy. And
You can't watch Gone with the Wind anymore. They've canceled it.
last night I'm watching, of course, Body and Soul again. I know everybody's line. John Garfield, his girlfriend, Charlie. It's crazy, man.
That's crazy.
Oh, everybody's picking on Charlie. Everybody's this. Charlie.
Oh, man.
Well, what are you all looking at? If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have the clothes on your back. Wouldn't have that dirty candy store. Oh, poor Charlie.
I gotta watch Body and Soul.
Body and
Yeah,
Soul.
gotta
You
check
never
that
saw
out.
it? It's a great.
And
And they have great. It was, choreography. The
fight
fight.
choreography, yeah.
It was great, man. Whoever did that back in the day, they just really looks like real fights.
You know what's a pretty good boxing movie? A lot of people know about Gladiator. You ever see that?
Yeah, great movie.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Jimmy Braddock.
Yeah.
Not Gladiator. Oh, no. You're
No.
talking about.
No. Gladiator. The box with Cuban Gooding Jr.'s in it.
Oh, yeah.
And,
And Brian Dennehy was a
yes,
trainer.
Brian Dennehy
Yeah,
was
yes.
He's the boss man.
Yes.
He's the one,
yeah.
top of the head,
He's
hardest
one
part of the
that-
body.
yeah,
Top of the head, hardest part of the body.
Actually, there's a scene when they're in a bar over the jukebox to my father's picture.
Oh, get out.
No way.
In Gladiator, yes. Yeah.
Get out of here.
They used to use his picture a lot in the movies and all.
Wow.
Even in that Bronx Tale, his picture's on a wall at the fight scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is
That's
cool.
But like I said, those were all Hell's Angels, you know. And the sad thing about it, the guy who played Redbeard, Steve Kendall, got killed on a motorcycle before the movie even came out. He never saw it.
No way.
Yeah, he played Redbeard, the main guy. He goes, get the fuck out of here. I'll tell you when it's time. Blah, blah, blah.
Really?
Then he went over, clocked the door. Now you just can't leave.
Wow.
You know. So it was crazy because I did the stunt coordinator too, you know, with that, and the fight scene with Doug Coleman because he was the stunt coordinator on it. And after all the wise guys come out and of course beat the bikers up and everything at the end of the shoot, I said, okay, now we'll do this for real. No, we're just playing, man. It's just a movie. It's a movie, man. You know.
It's a big
So
difference between real life.
Yeah. The Satan's Messengers. That's what their name.
That was that. They're Satan's messengers.
Satan's Messengers. Yeah. And when they all beat up the bikes
bikes?
outside, and
Did they really beat those bikes up? They probably did.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but they had
fake
it
bike,
weren't
yeah.
real Harleys and
Yeah,
shit. It was
yeah.
just bullshit bikes and all. And then when Steve Bonge is the guy who ran around the stoop and he fell,
Yeah.
and all the kids are hitting him with the
Right,
the
sticks,
bats
yeah.
and the fucking the stickball bats and shit. It was funny. So of course he wasn't there. They just had a sack there and they beat and
shit.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wild.
So, and go look at that guy. The guy had the world by the balls. That fucking Lilo. Okay, talking about him, Colosio.
Yeah.
C.
See.
You
Yeah,
know?
Yeah.
And the greatest. He
What's
says
his name? Beyond, but
Lilo Brancato.
Brancato. Yeah.
Okay, I wish I had the opportunities this guy had. All right, to work with De Niro, and everybody and Chaz,
Yeah.
and then from there he goes to Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington,
Right.
with Gene Hackman, with Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
The opportunities this guy had, and he decided he wanted to be a junkie instead.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
I think he's making a comeback now, right?
And
Somewhat, or at least-
no,
or at
nobody
least
wants to
bounce
work with
back?
him. Nobody works for him.
Yeah.
Nobody, yeah. But and it says the greatest line in there. The worst thing in life is wasted talent,
talent, yeah.
and he's the
Look at
living
that.
proof.
Proof of
Of
it,
it,
right?
yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Wow.
So crazy that they went to go rob a guy who died a year before to rob his drugs.
Oh wow.
And he brought his girlfriend's father with him, hanging out with the girlfriend's father, who had a gun on him. And the next door neighbor was a cop. And he came, what are you guys doing? They turned around and fuck, boom.
No.
And the cop pulled the gun, shot both of them. They both got shot.
Before he died.
Yeah, before he died. They both got shot.
Wow.
And the guy, of course, who had the gun got life. But Lilo's the one who brought him there to get the drugs. So it wasn't for him, that cop would still be alive.
Yeah.
And like I says, the guy is just like a waste, man.
Yeah, that's a shame.
You know?
Yeah, it is.
But the greatest line was, you know, the worst thing in life is wasted talent. And he lived to prove it, man.
Yeah, shit.
So, just talking about that because we worked on the Bronx Tale together.
Yeah.
And all my guys. And at the end, because he was hiding under the table, if you remember, under the bar.
Yeah,
while everybody's fighting and everything. So, but at the end, I said to them, let's do this for real.
Yeah, they were.
And the guy that played Jojo the Well, who had Butch against, the guy's name was Butch, had him against the bar and just pressing him. Yeah. And then he took the chair, and that was really by accident. He hit that light. But they used it in the thing because he wasn't supposed to. But he realized he put the chair hit that chandelier and broke it. So they used it in the movie.
That's awesome.
Huh. But it was a great movie. A lot of guys were in it. A lot of talent. Dominic Lombardozzi was a kid.
Yeah,
he worked in that. He was the one.
Wow.
He was the one selling the guns to the kids
holy cow.
in the back of the trunk when Chaz pulled up.
Yes.
What are you doing here? What are you selling guns? He gave him a smack.
Wow, I didn't know that was him.
That was him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He's done some good movies together. We did a movie together.
He was in Entourage too, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he did them all. But we did Carlito's Way to Rise to Power.
Yeah.
With Dominic, myself.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and Burt Young was the wise guy.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
and Dominic was his son, and they kidnapped the son, and it was great.
Been in an incredible amount of movies, man. I would have had no idea.
I did, like I said, 74 or 76 movies as a stuntman, 74 as an actor. But when I was doing stunt work, you never saw me. You just saw my name at the end of the credits because I was stunt doubling somebody.
Right,
Right.
So I stunt doubled Lilo Brancato back in the day.
Did you really?
Chaz Palminteri. I stunt doubled a lot of people.
Wow.
Yeah. But especially Lilo Brancato. I mean, he was much bigger than me. But you know, when you got the jacks on and the armor and shit and all that stuff, and it was good. A lot of experience. And then I said, wait a minute, man. When I became an actor, I said, wait a minute. These guys are doing what I do every day, you know? They're acting like I do. So that was it. And I remember when I got Oz, I went with my friend Brian Hamill to Don King's documentary, Only in America, right? And halfway through 15 minutes into the movie, the projector breaks. So they turn the house lights up. Brian saw Tom Fontana sitting there with Dean Winters, who played Ryan O'Reilly. So they were friends because Brian used to be a still photographer on so many movies, so he met everybody. So he brought me over and introduced me to Tom. He goes, look, Chuck just got out of jail. Maybe he could, be an advisor. He goes, you got a great face. Do you act? I said, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So he goes, I want you to come down and read for this guy named Sam Pancamo. So I went down and read. I beat like 20 guys out for the part. And when I got the part, they changed it to Chucky Pancamo.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Tom was probably figured I wouldn't answer to Sam. Sam, Chucky. What's going on? So, when I got the part, they changed it to Chucky Pancamo.
Oh, that's
but
so cool.
the real character's name was Sam Pancamo.
That's crazy, man.
So that's how I got on the show in the second season.
Dope. Wow.
And then, of course, I was working for two main wise guys in that thing, and then I became the main wise guy for the Sicilians.
In Oz.
Yeah. Yeah. Shibetta, I was working for him. His father, who was Shibetta, also was the main guy. They killed him with the glass.
Right.
Then he became the boss.
Yeah.
Then Margolis, who played the heavy in Scarface.
Okay.
The guy with the bomb, he couldn't talk.
Yeah.
He played the second boss. No, third boss. First it was Tony. He played he was in another great movie, Pope of Greenwich Village.
I didn't see that one either.
Yeah.
No,
So he played the Shibetta first, and then his son came in, of course. and I was the bodyguard to him, and then Mark Margolis came in, and then Adebisi hit him with the AIDS, the needle. And he got AIDS.
Yeah.
He died of AIDS.
Right,
and then I
right.
became the boss.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was the
Adebisi,
longest
though.
reigning boss in the history of Oz.
That's awesome.
Because everybody met their faith. Everybody had one season in it.
Yeah.
The first guy one season, the second guy one season, the third guy, and I did another. You know, we did 6 episodes. I mean 6 seasons.
Right.
So for 3 seasons, I was the boss.
Wow.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
It is, man. You got some great stories, Chuck. You definitely do, man.
Yeah.
Ever think about coming out with another book? Second
You know
half
what?
of your life?
I actually probably have 100 pages written in my second book, and the second book was called Angel and the Bad Girl. I was the angel, and Pamela Anderson. I was going to put her on the front cover when I'm riding with her. She's on the back of my bike, and I actually rode her through the Palms Hotel.
I'd like to ride her.
You know, yeah. So we were doing they were unveiling her slot machines at the Palms Hotel
In Vegas?
in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
And what happened was I had a few fights and I broke somebody's nose and jaw in the Bellagio and I got banned, right? from the cops banned me from Vegas. I wasn't allowed there.
Oh, really?
I was literally in a black book with Al Capone and everybody.
Really?
Yeah. And then I remember
Not for just the Bellagio, for the
Frank,
whole fucking
a
town.
lot of from the whole town. In fact, Frank Shamrock was teaching a lot of cops, and he called me. He goes, Chuck, because I always go to UFC. I was going to UFC. He goes, Chuck, I was just training with these cops. They said don't come to the UFC. They're going to arrest you. I said, that's bullshit. Fuck that. I'm coming. Next day, an hour later, I get a call from Dana White. He goes, Chuck, you're going to get arrested. Don't come to the UFC. I say, you know what? I don't give a shit about nobody. I'm coming, man. Then I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. It's Friday night. I won't see the judge till Monday.
Yeah.
So I didn't go.
Yeah.
So when Pamela Anderson called me, like 2 years later, she goes, look, I want you to ride me through the Palms Hotel. They're unveiling my slot machine, and I think I could get on your back of your bike. It would be awesome. Nobody's ever did it before. I said, Pam, I'm not allowed in Vegas. So what happened was she reached out to people. I wound up getting a lawyer out there to fight for me, and I wound up being able to do the show.
Oh, that's
good
cool.
deal, man.
So I rode her right through the front door, through the whole lobby
Yeah.
of the Palms Hotel, right out into the pool. And then nobody's ever done it before. It was done
amazing.
once, and nobody's ever done it before.
I would have drove that bitch right into the elevator and hit whatever floor she was on.
No, we've been dear friends for years. She just got married again
Oh,
Is
my
she?
for the
God.
5th time.
Oh, jeez.
You know,
That's the
This time's
the
a
norm.
charm. So who's this guy?
I said, who was it?
Yeah.
The fucking mechanic working on the construction guy working on a house.
No.
Yeah.
way.
They said he was a bodyguard. He was no bodyguard. He was a fucking construction guy.
Wow.
Yeah. But then she married, of course, Tommy, had the 2 kids.
Yeah.
Then she married Kid Rock
Yeah.
I
Then
forgot
she
about
married
Kid
the
Rock.
other
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
twice.
What other guy?
Fuck, he was a fucking gambler. What the fuck is his name? My mind's a blank today for some reason.
That doesn't matter.
And then the 5th guy, she married the fucking
Wow.
the guy
Mechanic.
construction guy
Construction
working on
guy.
a fucking house.
Wow.
There you go, Raj.
I don't know what.
Yeah,
I think
hey.
she.
You might be able to be the
Yeah.
the gas delivery guy.
Yeah.
I said that this like a month ago because TMZ got me outside the Mulberry Street Pizza, and they asked me about what did Pamela? I says, well, she moved back to Canada and she got married for the 5th time. I said, I think she's trying to get more rings than Tom Brady.
It's a good one.
You know, so what was the guy? The guy was a gambler or fucking I don't fucking know. Well, she married him twice. I said, Pam, are you out of your mind? The first one didn't work. Why would you
Right.
think the second one? What? Oh, Rick Solomon. Yeah,
oh, I
right,
know
Rick
who that
Solomon.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good fucking gambler.
Hasn't he banged half of fucking Hollywood, Rick Solomon?
Yeah.
Isn't there a porno with him?
He's
and
yes,
there's a
yeah,
porno
the
with
Hilton,
him and
Hilton,
Paris Hilton.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Wow.
yeah. He was known for that.
Yeah, he's banged half of fucking Hollywood, that dude.
You know what I always said? Had more pussy than Tampax. Right?
Yeah.
Fucking shit again.
Who?
Scott
Disick?
huh?
No, definitely not Scott. Disick.
No. Oh man. Scott Baio.
Oh, Scott
Scott
Baio.
Baio.
Scott Baio
yeah,
banged
yes,
everybody
Char-
before
Charles in Charge, right?
before they were anybody.
Yeah.
Nicole Sheridan, Pamela Anderson, Heather Locklear. I mean, he was with everybody.
Really?
I always said he had more pussy than Tampax.
You know Heather Locklear got a place right across Fisher Boulevard from me. Well, actually, I should take that back. Her parents live there, so she's there all the time. Yeah, I was riding bikes one day. Me and the girl were out riding. So it's right around the corner from where the Gorgas place is. But she was outside, and
I always
Daniel
say,
was like, "You know who that was?" I was like, she looks familiar. I was like, that was
she
Heather
looks
Locklear.
familiar. But he had Pamela before she was even on the fucking
Baywatch?
Wow.
forget Baywatch. She was on the Tool thing. The fucking
Tim the Tool guy.
Tim the Cool guy. She was the Tool girl there,
Wow.
and he had everybody before they were somebody.
Crazy.
He banged everybody, and I always say that famous line: he had more pussy than Tampax.
Yeah.
Charles in Charge.
Charge and charge. We've got to be good friends too for a long time. And he's doing something too recently. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, Scott Baio.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
I don't very rarely I forget people's names, so sometimes you get stuck.
Yeah, dude.
Like Scott Glenn, I forgot his name, and and that was
I'm
it.
the worst with names, man. I'm the worst. I see people that I haven't seen in a while. I'm like, yo, what's up, brother? You know what I mean? Because I can't fucking remember the name. I'm the worst. What's up, girl? How are you? You know, I walk in the gym and see someone I've seen 20. I'm the worst with fucking names. Right, Timmy?
We were talking about quitting before. How about Django?
Oh, Django.
With
the
Jamie
Western.
Foxx?
Man, that was
yeah.
phenomenal.
And that English guy was fucking awesome, man.
He's great in Inglourious Bastards too. That same guy. You talking about that guy?
Yeah.
It's the German guy, right?
Yeah, the German guy is. Yeah. He was great,
Yeah.
and Jamie Foxx was fucking great.
Yeah.
Now Jamie's supposed to be doing. I think they're doing another Mike Tyson story.
Yeah, they are.
And he's playing.
doing
He's
Tyson.
Mike. He's
Yeah,
playing
they
Mike.
said- He's saying he got jacked for it too.
Yeah. He's a great actor.
gonna crush that.
Isn't he with Tom Cruise's ex?
He
Or
was at one point.
They're
Yeah.
not together anymore?
What was that? Her name?
Tom Cruise is like, well, X. There's 1,000 of them. Which one?
No, the one he has a kid with. He only
Katie
has-
Holmes.
Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
Thought he was with Katie.
Who?
Jamie Foxx was. I
Jamie
think, for a
Foxx
little
is
bit.
with.
He was.
Is he? Was he?
I don't know if they still
Yeah.
are, but they were.
I don't know.
He passed it around fucking Hollywood, I guess.
Hollywood's the first, man. Let me tell you something. If I ever wrote a book about the people I bodyguarded, I'd make $1 billion.
Yeah, I believe it.
I bet.
Yeah.
But
bet.
you know what?
Take that to the grave.
There's oh yeah. You take it to the grave, man. Because you don't forget, I worked for guys and girls, and who was banging who, was married, and everything else. Come on.
Right.
And I just had to look the other way, and they knew that's why they always called me back, because I would never, rat on them and write a book, a tell-all book. So people tell me, half the people today, you should do a tell-all book. I said, forget that, man. Forget it. That's why you asked me about my second book. I already have 100 pages, and it was called Angel and a Bad Girl. But, I had a bad divorce from my wife after 30 years, and my daughter and everything has to talk to me in 22 years, and it was slinging too much mud towards them, because after I was doing that, spite and shit.
You can't do that.
Then after I thought about it, I said, you know what, I'd be a real scumbag if I fucking wrote all that shit.
Yeah.
So I just took the second book and
one
just
day you'll be on your
put
deathbed and you don't want to have regrets.
put it on the thing. Oh, I don't. Everything I've done, I never regretted shit.
No, I'm
man.
saying
Fuck
you
that.
thought about the book.
Yeah. Oh no.
before you-
After I it slings too much mud towards them, and I
You wouldn't want that
decided
on your conscience.
I don't want to do that because they really stuck by me,
Right.
especially being 6 years in prison.
Yep.
My wife came to see me every fucking weekend. I don't care where I was, and I was in 19 different prisons
In 6 years.
in 6 years.
Holy shit.
You got to realize every time you have a fight, they transfer you.
Right.
So there's no
Animosity, right? Yeah.
not animosity, but any
Like-
retaliations,
19
everything.
right.
19 different prisons.
And
I mean, they had to be in multiple states, no?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I started out. Well, I did 4 months in a Japanese prison.
What?
I started from Japan.
Wow.
Now I was out there. I was out there with Bon Jovi, Joan Jett, working this and that, and I was out there when 20 Hells Angels went to Japan, and we had the power to vote in a Japanese charter. But the people we went to go see never made it. And while we were there, they had a nationwide sweep in 1985 called the Rough Rider.
Over in Japan?
No, in the United States. And I was in Japan, and they raided my home. And it took my wife and daughter out of bed with shotguns to their head, everything. And they knew I was in Japan. That's why I got so pissed off.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I surrendered to the American Embassy because I didn't want to get caught on the plane. I wanted to be able to get bail.
Right.
So I surrendered to the American Embassy. And they were supposed to put me on a plane the next day and send me back. Because of the treaty they have with the United States, they put me in a Japanese prison for 4 months waiting to be extradited.
Wow.
And I was locked down 23 hours a day.
Ah, wow, that'd be crazy.
And because I was like the only American.
Why did it take 4 months to get extradited?
That's how long it takes to do a
Politics.
treaty. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
wow.
all politics, and they fucked with me every day. And I said, "Fuck, man." I lived on, water and fucking
Rice.
four slices of white bread a day.
That's
know?
it?
Yeah,
Wow.
because they had all kinds of fucking
Crazy.
crazy shit in there.
Yeah.
Things moving around. I said, I ain't that motherfucker, So I was locked down 23 hours a day. Then they put me in a cage for an hour, and I used to do my CATT and skip rope and shit.
Yeah.
And everybody used to call me Rocky. So I was never in population. I was just locked down all the time.
Damn, that's had to be tough.
And there was another Hell's Angel there, but he was on a different floor. And they brought him one day, and they got me. 6 marshals came to get me. And they chained and shackled me on a commercial flight, and found out once I landed they weren't allowed to do that. They couldn't have you in case the plane went down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they had when I went to go take a piss, they had 3 guys come with me.
And wait, there's no way they came with you unless they just
I
fucking
said, what
bathroom,
about
I
jump?
can't even stand
no,
up.
they
in
stood
it.
outside, but
Yeah.
I had handcuffs on.
Yeah.
I said, you want to undo this? No way. I said, well, then you better help me fucking with my cock then because I can't fucking, So they unhooked one hand, man, So I started 4 months in a Japanese prison, came to MCC in New York City, and then wound up having a big brawl there with 2 Colombians. They broke my hand. Mop bringers, that steel handle they have. Yeah. They took that out. One guy hit me, and I was, tried to keep my head, and I blocked it, broke my hand. Another guy hit me with a fucking pool ball, all his might, just missed my head, hit me in the back of the neck. I wound up beating both of them up, and we all went to the hole. So they got transferred. I got transferred. Went to another prison. Went to Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Had a fight there. Got transferred. Wow.
Wow.
And had a fight, in El Reno, Oklahoma with somebody, another rival club, and it was crazy. So every time you get fight, you get transferred because they don't want retaliation.
Sure, yeah.
So I got 19 different prisons.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Lived the life, man. Crazy.
So that's when I got out, and of course, Brian Hamill says, hey, he could be a good advisor. He just got out of prison, 19 of them. So... And that's what happened.
Yeah, shit.
Crazy, brother.
But like I said, I couldn't hold it against her doing that book.
Yeah.
And it was slinging too much. So I decided not to write the second book.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was better than the first one.
Wow.
And I did it myself this time. I was just writing.
Some things are better left unsaid, right? That's what they say.
Yeah, shit. I wonder you could write books just about like the life, not even like fake books.
Oh man. Well, they're coming out. My documentary's coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a documentary, and everybody is from Sylvester Stallone to Mickey Rourke to James Caan to Ron Perlman to Mark Boone Jr. to Amelia Rivera, Frank Stallone, Sylvester Stallone.
They're all
and let's get Joan Jett, everybody, like 30. When we're done, it's going to be like 40 people interviewed.
Oh, that's sick.
And they tell me that a lot of documentaries, maybe 5-6 people do it. There's going to be almost 40, 45 people in my documentary.
Crazy, man.
And it's called An American Story. Chuck Zito, American Story.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted American Badass, but Michael Madsen beat me to that. His is called American Badass.
Oh, really?
Not because he's really a badass, but
Yeah,
because, well, he plays some badass guys in the
yeah,
fucking movies,
yeah.
man, you know?
Right.
He's been on so many.
Oh, yeah. But he had his a hot sauce called American Badass.
Oh, did he really?
So they called his documentary American Badass. So then I says, well, you know what? Do mine Italian Bad Boy, because I'm known as the Italian Bad Boy, right?
Right.
So then the guy who's doing the documentary, she goes, no, I don't want you on a bad light. I just, I think it's, your story is just a great American story. And that's how they came up with Chuck Zito, American Story.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we're almost done with it. And I'm hoping September, October that it's out.
Oh,
And
wow.
we're going to do a premiere in New York City, California, and Vegas, and Chicago.
That's
Oh,
awesome,
that's
man.
great.
Wish you nothing but luck with it.
So it's good.
That's great, brother.
Where
good.
can people, where can our listeners find you? Instagram or a website? or anything like that?
Just on Instagram, because I'm off social, what do you call it, Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
Too many assholes on that fucking thing.
I
man.
can only handle one thing, man. I've been on them
Yeah.
all, but I just do Instagram now. That's it. So you sound like
I
to me.
was basically off social media for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And they say, you know what? You should be on some kind of a post and stop post. So I went on Instagram
Yeah.
See.
and forget the other
Instagram's
ones.
good.
You
What's
know,
your
but
what's your
Instagram's
at
good.
on Instagram?
It's official Chuck Zito.
Official Chuck
Yeah,
Zito. I
official
follow you,
Chuck
but for
Zito.
the fans, people want to follow
Yeah,
you.
official
keep
Chuck
up on
Zito,
you,
yeah.
see what you're doing.
And a lot of
You-
things. And I always post a lot of shit, man. I
Your,
post a lot of good shit.
Your website one more time that people can order your merch on.
It's Italian Bad Boy Wear.
Italian Bad Boy Wear.
.com, yeah.
Yeah.
So I sell shirts and
Yep.
with some sayings and shit.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Everybody's a tough guy until you meet one and all that
Yeah.
shit, and all that stuff. So
That's
and my
great.
book
Yeah, and your book on there.
and my
too.
book's on there.
Yeah.
Next time I come here, I gotta
Yeah,
bring in
yeah.
my
Bring us
book.
a signed
Yeah.
copy.
I forgot to bring that. I didn't realize so long ago, but
We're not
that
gonna
you didn't have.
We're not going to let you leave here without signing the board too, brother. You got to sign the
Yeah.
board. Every guest signs
Oh,
it. So
Oh, what's that? A surfboard?
yeah.
Oh, you surf?
No.
And what the fuck's the surfboard doing up there?
Someone made it for us.
It's kind of a Jersey thing, even though neither one of us do
Oh,
it.
that's-
but,
Yeah.
What's it? Champ
Champ and a Tramp.
Champ of the Tramp,
and a
baby.
Tramp? That's
Yeah.
the name of the show?
Yeah, he's the Tramp.
Champ and a Tramp.
I love that he doesn't even know the name of the show he's on.
Yeah. I don't know. My friend invited me. I said, absolutely.
The best.
Didn't know it was almost 100 fucking miles away from my house. I'm driving. I said, where the fuck is this Tom's River, man? I live in Westchester, New Rochelle. And I'm driving. I'm saying, holy shit.
That's awesome, man. Well,
But you know what? I made good time coming out
You
here
did, you
because I was doing 90 miles an hour on the
That's the way the Parkway
Turnpike.
is,
because it's
baby.
a Tuesday,
Yeah.
you wouldn't want to do it on a Friday.
And guess what? There
Everybody
was
comes to the show
there
on
was
Friday.
people passing me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing 85, 90, and they're passing
It's
me.
Jersey
Yeah.
way of life.
That's
Jersey
it.
way
Yeah,
of
but I
life.
remember years ago there used to be a trooper in every one of those side
Yeah.
roads.
Yeah.
Those,
You know?
those turns. I
I
know.
don't
They
even.
still
I don't
are.
even think they pull.
I
you over.
haven't even seen one trooper today coming here.
I think they start running the radar at like 85 on the Parkway. They don't
Yeah,
even
if
bother
you
with
don't-
you.
yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you're
But you
80
usually see a state trooper. I've
Yeah.
never seen one coming out here this whole day.
Oh, they're there.
They're there. They got they're like in unmarked cars now. That's where most
Frankie got
Yeah.
pulled over the other day.
Did you?
Tom's River. In Tom's River. Yeah, I did.
Did you tell him you knew me?
He got
I
yelled
did.
at. He said the guy yelled at him.
He did. It was my fault. I was
He
going.
yelled at you?
Yeah.
Well, he knew who you were, of course.
Well, at first he didn't. He's like, because I had the dealer plates, and he's like, "Was it worth it? Was it worth it?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, sir. You're right. No, it wasn't worth it." He see my thing. He's like, "Oh, come on, man." Yeah.
I had to go do a show, a signing up in Albany one day, right? I'm on a New York State Thruway, and I'm cranking. I literally was doing like 105 miles an hour. And as I passed an overpass, there was a trooper sitting right up in the grass. And I says, holy shit. He started
me.
coming down, and I just pulled right over.
Yeah.
So he didn't have
Yeah,
to chase me.
Right.
I pulled over. I said, I'm fucked because at a certain, especially over 100,
Yeah,
they could take your car.
Right. Yeah.
Reckless driving and shit. I said,
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I see the guy and I see him walking over, and it's a black guy. And all of a sudden, he comes to my window. He goes, Chuck Zito, what the fuck are you doing? I went, whew. shy of relief. He goes, what the fuck are you doing? You're doing 105 miles an hour. I said, tell you the truth, I'm late for a book signing. You got a book out? I said, yeah. He goes, can I get one? I said, I'll give you, your mother, your father, your sisters, your brother. I gave him like 10 books. I signed them. I said, yeah, give them out. Have a good time, man.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm fucked.
That's awesome.
Because like I said, after like 100, they could take your car
Take it right there.
and get arrested. I said, I'm fucked.
Criminal speeding. Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I'll never make the signing, nothing. But when he walked up to the car and he says, Chuck Zito, what the fuck are you doing? I said,
We're good.
boy, what a sign of relief. I said, holy shit. And he says, I'll give you your whole family books, man. I gave him like 10 books. I signed them all. I said, hey, he goes, hey, slow down. As I will, man.
Sir. Yes, sir.
But I passed him doing a good 105.
Yeah.
Because I was late in Albany for my signing.
Yeah.
And I saw, as soon as I passed, I saw him up on the hill right there. And he came right down. I just pulled over. I said, I'm not letting him chase me. I fucked up. And I'll take
That's
it.
the way to go. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
I think,
Pull
you know?
over.
But I said, oh, I'm fucked.
Yes, sir. No,
you're
sir.
beat,
Yeah. I hate, you know what? We're talking about that because now we're going to get political. When these motherfuckers roll the window down like a half inch.
Yeah.
Whisper.
I'm afraid to open this window. I'm afraid for my life. Get the fuck out of here, man. I love one guy. He was doing that to the cops, and it was somewhere down south or something. And more cops came, more guys. I ain't fucking talk. Fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you, motherfucker. This and all. They broke the window and put a canine in there.
Dog,
and that
I saw
motherfucker
that.
was crying like a bitch.
I saw that video.
And they ripped that dog, ripped him apart, man.
Oh, I bet, dude.
Oh, man. I was so fucking happy when I saw that. Because these guys, like I said, they just
It's
fucking,
tough. It's tough
it's
job.
a tough job today. But I was even mad. Look at this motherfucker. He was, call him everything in a book. Fuck you, motherfucker. This, fuck that. And they broke the window, put that dog in, a German Shepherd, and that dog fucking tore him up. And he was crying like a bitch after that.
I call them windshield tough guys. They're real tough behind a windshield.
Yeah, it says, you ain't so tough no more, man. And they pull him out of the car, and that dog was still biting his ass. And and I'm telling you, his balls, everything.
I've seen the video.
God.
I know the video you're talking about, yeah. He was a sovereign citizen, I think. The people that don't believe that laws, they believe that they have the right right to freely travel without a driver's license and stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. But that dog had him by the balls, everything, ripping him off. I said, oh, my God, I was hurting. My balls were hurting.
Hell no.
But I was just saying, like I said, when that cop came over, I had shy relief, man, when he said, Chuck Zito, what the fuck you doing?
That's always a good feeling. Always a good feeling.
I says, I'm not getting a ticket. They'll arrest me. They're taking my car, everything. And it was just great.
Uber. You didn't have to call an Uber.
No, but I was in the middle of New York State Thruway, man. I wasn't going nowhere. So look at your magazine, man.
Yeah, let's pull it out.
The whole magazine. It's the second time, and the first time was like 5 years ago, right? The new Outlaw Biker magazine that's not even on the stand yet. It comes out next month. The whole magazine is me.
This is cool.
And you got to see it. You're in there, buddy.
Oh, yeah?
Your picture's in there, Bubba.
Get out of here.
You're in there. That's why I brought it to you.
Oh, man, this is cool.
And that's the show that I'm doing tomorrow.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. In Italy. So I'm bringing them a bunch of books, too.
Oh, this is cool.
But you'll be able to see yourself.
How the hell did Frankie make the book?
That was my wife. That's my daughter.
Oh,
That's
wow.
my mother and father there.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Of course, that's my Stars and Stripes gi,
Yeah,
It's got a whole thing about, my martial arts, about bodyguard and radio personality. And you see that picture right there? That was my first karate tournament. I was a white belt and beat every white and yellow belt there that day. And Bill Superfoot Wallace and John Belushi were in my corner.
Wow, get the fuck out
Yeah.
of here. Holy shit.
Yeah, and we took that picture right there, right after I won the trophy.
Damn.
There you go.
There we go.
That was a great picture. Me, you, and Enzo.
Absolutely. I remember
Professor
this.
Enzo Gracie.
Yes,
No shit.
Is that great?
This is an awesome picture.
I had to put you in there,
Yeah,
Baba, and
I
that's
love
my
it. I
my
love
screamer,
it.
my Cali sticks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's me in my dojo training my students. I had a badass dojo, man.
Wow.
In Westchester in Pelham Manor.
That's so cool, man.
But that picture I always loved of the three of us.
Yeah,
So I had to
that
put
was
it
a
in
good
there.
time. That was
I said I got to put you in there, man.
I appreciate it, man. I love
Bye-bye.
it. I love it. My man. My
Our
man.
professor and the
Yeah.
UFC champ,
Yeah.
man.
The
Shit.
best. Well, Chuck, man, thank you so much for coming down. I
Hey.
appreciate you coming down.
Thank you for having me,
You're
man.
a legend. I've been a fan of you for such a long time. It's very cool that we got to become friends over the years. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
well,
saw, and you know what? you thrilled me with so many of your fights, man.
Oh, well,
I was
thank
just to see you there live, because when it first started, I was at every UFC fight.
I remember.
I was. You could see me sitting ringside, but I haven't, like I said, since COVID.
Yeah.
I haven't. I went to one 2 years ago at the Garden.
Right. Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
At the Garden.
They'll be coming back. I think they're going to be at the Garden in November. This November.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm Mr. New York there, so nobody. I definitely got my seats there for that.
Absolutely.
In Madison Square Garden.
We'll see. Maybe get on that card.
And the crazy thing about the Garden, somebody just sent me pictures I didn't even know existed from 1979 at the Grateful Dead concert. We were in backstage, and you see Jerry walking out and everything, and you see a bunch of Hells Angels there.
Oh,
and I was with all my brothers that day, and I never saw these pictures before.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And they surfaced yesterday. Somebody sent it to me.
That's wild.
Right? So you never know what's out there.
You never know, especially now.
Never know.
You never. Hey, buddy.
But thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank
you for inviting me. And
yeah,
I had a great time, man.
Definitely. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And have a great time in Italy,
and,
man.
And
enjoy yourself.
I came here to the night before I'm leaving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
So I told you I was going. I says, you know what? I told him I'd be there. I'll be there.
Yeah,
it,
man of
brother.
your word. I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Awesome, brother.
I appreciate
Good
it.
stuff.
Always,
man.
always,
Thank you,
always.
Chuck.
Thank you. And we'll sign this surfboard, even though you don't surf.